If I did just that through the game.
Hello and welcome to Dash 28 Live. I'm your host, Mike Atkins, and today we are bringing you a first round match from Call to Arms 5 between Bart Koehler and Tom Robinson. Hey, guys.
Hey,
and here I have along with me to commentate, I've got Adam Padley, Elliot Morrish, and Ashley Moat. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. So you guys are going to be playing your first round match here. It is going to be on the map that everybody's playing their first round match on. It's going to be the plunder scenario, like everybody else is playing. You're going to be playing at 2,300 points. But you guys did something a little different with the lists. This is a challenge match. Bart, would you like to tell us what the story is with the lists for this game?
Well, I had when I challenged Tom, it was sort of just one of those things that spur of the moment. He happened to respond to a post I put on the site, so I said, you know what? When am I ever going to play Tom? So I figured I'd just take a shot at it and see how it goes. Once it got going, and he said I could pick my list, I had my list guru Adam Ortiz create me a nice list with basically just two requirements. One, I needed 4 characters because of the Northern Kings. You're all represented on the table today. And it had to be decent, I didn't want it to be a bad list. So that was really the only option. And then everything sort of snowballed from that.
Cool. All right. Well, let's bring up the lists without any further ado. So I'm going to bring up Bart's list first and let you talk us through it.
So, of course, no one expects the Salamander Inquisition. Again, this is one of those things that, as I started making Tom's list, I think it was Keith Conroy said something about, I asked him what I should play. He says, well, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. And then this is how this happened. So, really, I'm looking with 2 chief weapons, that being surprise and fear. So, with that... With fear, surprise, those 2 chief weapons, and ruthless efficiency. So those 3 weapons, that and unwavering devotion to the Pope. So those 4 weapons are the things that I'm really using. And
No, Bart, continue. Sorry, we're all good.
So I started with, I needed 3 cardinals, so I created 3 clan lords, and then of course they need to be represented by their ceremonial guard. So. I'm going to be going all over this, Mike, so I'm not going to go in any kind of order.
That's fine.
So I started with...
Narrative order is fine.
So I started with... I needed 3 cardinals, so I've got Jimenez, Biggles, and Fang. Jimenez actually has a Blood of the Beast Slayer. They're supported by... as cardinals, you need to have a ceremonial guard, so they have 3 regiments of Salamander Ceremonial Guard, which are actually pretty decent. And then, of course, the Pope. The Pope has to be on the field. He's my mage priest with Enchant and Fireball. So he needs to be protected at all times. So he's on the field. So that's where the list started. At the top of the list, I have 4 ancient troops, which I use in my list. And in all seriousness, when I create a list on UB, I have to have the miniatures. So I actually have this army on the table, and I played it on Saturday. So I have this army. So I like to use armies that I have when I'm playing on UB. So I actually have this, and this is something that I'm using in my actual Salamander list. So these 4 troops of Salamanders, the Cranky Old Bastards, the Dirty Almost Dozen, the Get Off My Lawn, and the Expendables, clearly. So those are the 4 ancients that are kind of surprising, actually. So there's your surprise. The ceremonial guard, so the Regiment of Fear, Regiment of Surprise, and the Regiment of Ruthless Efficiency, beware. I realized I didn't have anything that hit anything, so I put the 2 obligatory units for Salamanders, the Rhinosaur Cab, which only comes with the Caterpillar Potion, and the Tyrants, the Soft Cushions, with the Blessing of the Gods, because that's funny. And lastly, I think I needed to fit some shooting in, so I had a mix of lists. So I put in the thing 1, 2, and 3, the 3 Lechilodons, because they also score, but they do provide some shooting for me. So we'll see how that goes. So that was my list.
Awesome. And that's 16 total drops for 22 unit strength at 2,300 points.
Yep.
Okay, let's pop over and take a look at what you put together for Tom.
Cool. I'll take this one then. So, following the Monty Python theme, we have 2 regiments of spear phalanx with the Ensnare upgrade. First being the regiment of Silly Walks, and the second being the regiment not appearing in this battle. We'll see about that. After that, we have a regiment of Foot Guard. They can be only one. They are the Highlanders. Not really Monty Python thing, but
we'll go with it.
Then we have 2 hordes of militia mob. Again, coming from the life of Brian with Judean Democratic Socialist Horde, and then the Socialist Democratic Horde of Judea.
There's definitely some reference mixing going on there, though.
So try and remember.
I couldn't stop laughing when I did it.
On the name.
Fairly certain it's the Judean People's Front.
Is that what they are? Are you sure? I'm not sure.
No, it's the Judean People's Front.
I don't know.
Or the People's Front of Judea.
Or the People's Front of Judea.
I think this is what they meant.
Okay.
Modern
update.
We have 2 regiments of fanatics. We have the Time Bandits and the Flying Circus. Quite apt names for a bunch of madmen running around on the battlefield. I kept them nearby each other. Maybe they'll help each other out. Probably not. And I have 2 regiments of crossbows because nobody's ever taken crossbows before.
There'll be a first for everything.
And without the arquebus upgrade as well. Now we have the knights who say ni, and we have the knights who say tang.
It's a
Please tell me you've deployed them near a shrubbery. on or near a shrubbery.
No.
If you haven't, this recording's over.
They shoot with herring.
Shoot with herring.
I threw him the war.
Tom, you've lost. You've just conceded by that.
We have 2 mammoths. Ignorance and 1.
Dickens? Anyone? Come on.
It's too highbrow for us.
Too highbrow.
Yeah.
Really Python's very top about when it comes to comedy. And then we have a giant named Chunk.
The People's Hero.
Is that Dickens as well, or is that Goonies?
That's Goonies.
We've gone from we've gone from Dickens to the Goonies.
Come on, you gotta keep up with my head. It's everything. You gotta strap in.
We have the 4 Northern Kings represented. So from the top, we have my only inspiring source in the army, and unfortunately, it's Adam Padley.
Well, you're fucked now, bud.
Could you please refer to him by his honorific?
There's some irony in having it be Royal
I'm
Majesty.
very inspiring, man. I'm very inspiring. Don't forget that.
And I am skeptical.
You should have highlighted a Night Stalker in for Dread. You're like, yeah, that's about right. Next, we have myself. I'm a hero on a Pegasus. Bravely, Sir Tom Robinson with Fire Oil, which I will definitely forget about because there's no region in the list, so who cares?
That was his plan all along, to design a list to play against this with no regen, just off that 5-point advantage.
Screw you out of those 5 points right off the bat.
And then we have the Fanatic Instigator. Again, another very apt name for a man who's forever provoking people on Fanatics.
I was trying to work out, is that a fantastic meta joke, or was it a lovely coincidence?
That was a coincidence, honestly.
Nick is the instigator of the Fanatics.
I don't know, Nick, but I did realize that afterwards. It did make me laugh. Chuckle a little. Nothing personal, though.
It made us laugh a lot on the night. And I'm mean a lot.
And then lastly, least importantly, we have the Wizard on a Pegasus. Elliot Morris, the Enchanter.
Because I'm enchanting.
Not Tim.
Once again, skeptical.
Describe Elliot, and Enchanter's definitely one you can describe.
Skepticism grows.
And he has the conquest.
Ashley, you're just mad there's not 3 giants in it.
Yeah, obviously.
I love how you've paid for Windblast. I love it.
You know what? Something's got to happen. He's going to push me off a token or something.
I've got to say that Wimbless is going to be the game decider now.
Yeah.
Elliot's
All
got to
right.
come through for you.
I'm used to using 2 Arthlings with Wimblast and having devastating effect with them. So I'll see what I can do. Who's not with it.
Have you paid for Wimblast because Elliot's full of hot air?
I don't know. You have to ask Adam what this is for. He has a reason for it. I apologize for not knowing, but he knows.
All right, let's go through the deployment. So for anybody playing in Call to Arms, this is the Call to Arms first round map. So we've got 2 big pieces of impassable terrain kind of in the middle of each deployment zone. We've got a couple forests, a couple hills, a couple of pieces of flat in the corners, and then a couple of obstacles, one down in the lower deployment zone and the other kind of mid-left table. Looks like you guys are using those red dots as your loot tokens, and you put stars on the ones that are worth 2. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. All right, then let's talk through your deployment real quick, and then we'll get you guys playing. So Bart, you are up here on the top. Could you walk us through your deployment, starting over here on the left, please?
Sure. So I have 2 troops of ancients on the front line there, for both inspiring and also they're hard to shift. So we'll see how that works out. The Regiment of Fear behind the hill, I need to get that into the Mammoth if I can. I have Fang, Biggles, and Jimenez over here on the left because of the Flyers and his bigger Giant and Mammoth on this side. So I need to be able to counter any flying that happens on this side. I have the comfy chair sitting there in the middle because the trees are right in the middle, and I want to be able to, if I have to, charge into that so that I can actually, because they have the caterpillar. Another regiment of, troops of ancients, the dirty half almost dozen, with the Pope and the soft cushions behind to hopefully hit and clean up something that the dirty dozen maybe hold up. Over on the right, on the other side of the building, I have another troop of ancients and 2 regiments, the Regiment of Surprise and the Regiment of Ruthless Efficiency on the left there, or on the right. And thing 1, 2, and 3 will try, and it's not really effective over on this side as much as I'd like, but we'll see how it goes. They can score, so we'll see if that comes into play at the end.
All right, great. And Tom, if you could walk us through your deployment, starting over here on the left on the bottom.
So from the left, I have the 2 regiments of Knights of Zaynir and Eki Patang. They are sat in the river, in the pond, where they deserve to be. I presume there's a shrubbery around the pond, which is why I've done that. Next to them, I have a horde of militia with the hammer. They are.
So if you just put them out, they can't get in anybody's cat cause trouble.
Pretty much, yeah. That's why they are there on the left to stay out of the way. So the Socialist Democrats of Judea with the hammer of Mrs. Boss. Why not? Behind them, I have Elliot, the wizard, with his staff with fireballs, the fireball 6, lightning 3, wind blast 5, and conjure staff. That's a lot of wasted points.
He'll be fine.
Fine. And then next, heading towards the centre, we have the first mammoth. Want, I think? Yeah, we've got Want. Then we have Chunk the Giant next to him. These guys have both got Strider, and they've both got a nice little line to go through the woods because it's the only Strider I have in the entire list, so where that's going to go. Behind them, I then have Adam, the General, the inspiring guy on a Pegasus. I'm never gonna. I don't get it. Anyway, moving quickly on.
He has a fancy sword.
In front of the rock cluster right there, you see a very small figure of Nick Williams. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, nothing intended.
It's very small figure.
Because that's the place where he fit easiest, and he can go wherever he wants after that.
What height is that model?
Yeah, and then right behind him is myself, so bravely Tom Robinson on my Pegasus with fire oil, the redundant items.
Hiding behind the rocks, yeah.
Bravely hiding.
Brave, Sir Robbo.
Well, Adam Paddy's getting thrown under the bus. I don't know if I'm going to survive yet. Right, so we have the 2 regiments of pikes in the centre, front left and then centre rear. And then centre right of them 2, we have one of the regiments of fanatics, the Flying Circus. the right of them, we have the other mammoth, Ignorance. Again, nice and central to make him much brighter, and then I can flank up if I hopefully get him to keep his forces split around the building in the centre. To the right of them, I have the other regiment of Fanatics. I have the Time Bandits. And to the right of them, we are then on to the last parts of my army, which I kind of left down here on a whim. So I have the Highlanders, there can be only one, as well as one regiment of them. I get it now. And finally,
the penny dropped.
Most importantly, we have the Judean Democratic Socialists.
Yeah, they're the opposite side of the other ones.
Yeah, well, one's on the far left side, one's on the far right side. Work that one out.
They're splitters, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anytime they face towards each other, you have to yell splitters back and forth or something.
There's a little bit of thought in how I deploy things. Mainly the characters have kept them central and most of them fly so they can dart about here or there. And then I've wanted to keep the pikes and then most of my damage dealers in the centre so they can respond as needed. If I can. The rest of the army, it's not quick. I don't have any pathfinder. None of it really hits. So bunching it up is just going to pile crap up on crap. So I'm trying to expand the flanks out a little bit and use my crossbowmen on the left and a bit of shooting I've got to try and hold the left flank. Keep off that token. And then I've got Hammer of Measure Force, which might hurt some Ancients maybe if I'm lucky. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
So I've got to get a hit with them first.
All right, awesome. Thanks for walking us through your deployments. Good luck to both of you. We will see you back here when you're done. So you guys can drop off now and roll for first turn.
All right, see you.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Good luck, gents. Well, now that they're gone.
Now the riffraff left.
Not quite all of it, but sure.
No, I'm still here.
We'll see ourselves out.
Shoo shoo.
All right.
There we go.
So
What do we think?
I don't know.
The thing that sort of jumps out for me is the lack of punch in Tom's list. It's actually really quite durable. Well, it is on the surface until you realise there's only one inspiring source.
It's the inspiring.
And no indomitable will.
Yep.
I feel like with how spread Tom's deployed as well, you kind of have to deploy spread with 16 drops to be fair. But it's the fact that if Bart pressures in multiple locations, he's causing a lot of questions for Tom with his one very inspiring source of me. So I feel like if Bart can jump on and put pressure on both flanks and the centre at the same time, something's going to collapse quick, even if it's just a spiked dice roll, which is very, very easily done when there's no inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm sad to see no indomitable will. I just love that so much.
Yeah, it's a really good roll.
Yeah.
Better, but we need that fire oil.
Yeah.
Critical
Points
fire.
efficiency.
Somehow that's going to come into this game. I don't know how yet. So there's no regeneration.
There will be a way.
Yeah.
There'll be like 5 points either over or under bonus points. Yeah, something like that. So Tom has won the roll to take first turn and has decided to go first.
Yep.
As you
they'll
do.
probably be starting their clock off.
And I feel
And
like
they're
Tom's just gonna bum rush forward.
As you do.
Yeah, I think so.
Not much thought.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Are they doing 70-minute clocks aside?
Yeah,
They're doing 70 minutes at 2,300 points, so they're gonna snap through this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, it did feel a little fast.
I think this is a big difference between us Brits and you Yanks. Is the time to 2,300? Like, I'd quite happily play 2,300 on 55-minute clock.
I wouldn't on the tabletop. I wouldn't on UB.
Tabletop, but not UB.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
tabletop's always like a little easier too, right? It's not playing the game of infinite angles.
Yeah.
You're not trying to maneuver like dice. Yeah, it's just the rolling is way faster, I find. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it tells you what it is on here, I still find it quicker to do it myself.
Yeah.
I think that the one thing that Tom's list does have going for it with the hammers is those three monsters, the mammoths and the giants. Between those three, there's a good amount of punch there. What Tom's going to have to do, and this is one thing that Tom can do well, is pick his fights very well, because he's not going to win every fight, by any stretch. So he's going to have to be really careful to put all of his pressure on one point at a time and break it. Because if he gets bogged down, there's a lot of units in Bart's list that can just start one-shotting things.
One thing I will point out, I like the fact. Well, I don't like the fact Bart's got a second wave. He's deployed 3 units behind his lines as a second wave. I don't actually like that because it's giving Tom the spread advantage. Especially with taking first turn, it's going to let him pick the fights easier.
But your first wave is Fearless Defense 6 Ancients.
Well, that actually plays to the advantage because you're not going to kill a lot of it on the charge. So know that the second wave's unlikely to get a retaliation in. So you're wasting an activation for your opponent, which is massive in a 6 or 7 turn game. Massive.
Aren't the Ancients only speed 4 too?
Yeah.
So it really slows up your front lines unless you're going to just leave them behind.
I feel like if he'd have put them 3 units, I'm pointing at my screen here because you obviously know what I'm pointing at.
Hold on, let me just channel in.
Yeah, channel, concentrate. So if you'd have spread them out a little bit, it'd have put a little bit more pressure on. Because I feel like positioning at the moment, Tom's got a slight advantage. I know it's top of turn 1, but I'm just being picky.
I feel like I'm obviously so talented that I probably would have picked the same deployment as Bart, but I don't know if that's a good thing for Bart or a very, very bad thing.
Is he touching that hill?
Let me see.
No, he's not.
He is not. No. So I found. I just played my game last night, and I found this map interesting because you have that kind of large building at the top, and then those kind of the central forest there in the middle. Between those two, it does kind of cut the board in half. And there is one more point kind of on one side of that divide than the other. So at least the strategy that I tried last night, which worked out okay, was basically to do a flank denial on the left. Like I picked the bottom and I did basically a flank denial on the left side where he had put the bulk of his units because that's where he had the most space, and then just picked up all the points to the right of the forest, which was 4, and then just kind of moved away with them and held him off and fed him 1 unit at a time to slow him down, and took him to the end of the game to really get into the forest where he could see me to shoot at me, and by then he couldn't really take any of the points away from me. So I was kind of wondering if they were going to do something similar, but it looks like Tom has just pushed all of his Strider stuff up into the woods, so maybe not.
I was going to say that was sort of the hope, and when I designed this board, was that you'd have a very clearly sort of split the board in 2, but then actually in the middle you've got that quite big open space. So most armies have got to split into 2, but you've got that opportunity to dart between the 2 battle groups. I really like it. I think it's quite a dynamic way to play. I don't like boards where you split into 2 and you just play 2 separate games all game. But you've always got to keep an eye on, that 1 unit flying across the board, or that charge you didn't quite see, or the
Yeah, we played a lot of peekaboo in that central forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask who designed the map, just so if we start to critique it a lot, we know who to blame.
I was going to say you can blame me.
Yeah,
I did it.
I see what your thought process was on it, but I need to know who to blame at the end of the day.
To be fair, it's a challenge, isn't it? I quite like this map.
It's fine.
Is this now, because I'm dumb and forgetful, this is the first time we Call to Arms has had that everyone plays on the same map every round? Yeah.
Beforehand, it was just random map. To be fair, it wasn't even a random map from Epic Dwarf. It was just I let people just decide, just play on whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
So you could have decided to play with no terrain or out, but no one did. But it was just... I think this is the first year where first time we've sort of structured it a bit more. Because it was very free flowing on the other events. The other 4, this is the 5th call to arms.
Yeah, because I did play in like a little Canada tournament that in the summertime where it's like, yeah, every map was specific to the
And that were
thing, and it was really helpful actually. And plus, go ahead.
Yeah, that were a big bit of feedback we got from last one. Basically, they said that people wanted. Well, there were 2 bits of feedback that got screamed at me. I mean, screamed by some people. Some people sent it in all caps and everything. Of clocks and fixed terrain. Mm-hmm. So we do listen.
Nice. Yeah. So you've done chess clocks with recommended times, and you've done fixed maps for every round. Were there any other big changes you made between previous Call to Arms and this one?
We've put recommended points levels per round. The whole big idea with Call to Arms to start with was that it was so people could practice for real life tournaments. But obviously, there's not a whole lot of those around at the moment.
Yeah.
And what we also found was that, one, because I'd messed up the scoring system, and 2300 was worth more than anyone else. But I think just because there was a big push towards only playing 2300 last time. So we put a few recommended ones in just to try and mix it up a bit.
Last time it was easier to get, mathematically easier to get 5 points on 2300 than it was at 2K.
Right.
But that was only because when me and Elliot were looking at the scoring, we just went, yeah, we'll just add that onto each point and it'll do. We didn't even think about it, to be honest. We just sort of like pulled a number out of his ass.
Mistake. Yeah.
But it wasn't as bad as people made out to be honest with you. But we've actually done it better this time.
So just so Tom's crossbows did 1 damage to the ancient troop, and then I did 1 damage to the
rhinos.
Ancients and rhinosaurs.
Yeah.
It wasn't
very
a wind
proud
blast,
of you.
though.
I'm quite impressed with that, to be honest.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good comment.
What did the Licodons do?
Interesting that people were so keen on the regulated maps, but actually I played at some tournaments with the regulated maps, and it's been a really, really great experience.
I'd love to do it, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I can't remember which ones it was. One of them was unplugged, and I can't remember the other one, but it was really great because then you never got screwed over by what table you went to. Like the difference between having terrain or not that you needed, playing on table 2 or 4, like it was.
Yeah,
I
like the idea that you can very slightly tailor it towards scenario as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't end up playing Plunder with a great big impassable right in the middle.
Right, or Dominate with a great big impassable right in the middle.
See, I actually quite like that. I quite like Dominate with an impassable in the middle.
I've done it with Dominate where it was just a giant forest in the middle.
Yeah, well, again, I quite like that. I like it. It's dynamic. It's interesting. It's
yeah, but then at least everyone's playing the same.
Yeah,
dynamic.
You want a 10-inch diameter impassable terrain right smack bang in middle.
And then everyone just
giant tower.
This is everyone leaning up against the walls. I'm in the center.
I count.
Yeah.
The majority of my base. I don't know how prevalent that is. I think having the TO define the maps and having everybody play on the same map is definitely something I would consider a best practice. I think every tournament I go to up and down the East Coast now does it that way. But I'm not sure. Sorry, East Coast of the U.S. I'm not sure how they do it further into the country or out on the West Coast. I think
it relies on
Texans still like dot deployment a little bit. So.
It relies on the quality of your terrain as well. I think.
Though, aren't they?
Sure, and so I'll go ahead and say I basically cheated. Like I bought a 3D printer and printed terrain that was while different pieces were kind of close to the same size. So every table, even though they look different, all the sets of terrain kind of sort of matched. And so I think as more people buy those and as there's more terrain available, I think TOs being able to make like matchy but not matchy terrain for all their tables is going to become a more common thing and a more affordable thing.
There was even a cool thing. I remember, what tournament was it that they played where the terrain was generic. Everyone had like the same map kind of thing, different terrain, but every map was the same.
Mm-hmm.
But then also where if there were markers, like objective markers or anything, they were also predetermined. So it was like a narrative way to be like, well, it makes sense that we're fighting over this thing in the middle instead of just a field. They tried to make it like a narrative thing. Yeah. Where it would make sense, like battle-y, I guess.
I like that idea of preset. So
I think it was I feel like it was unplugged.
I was about to say it's probably either Unplugged or Orktown.
Yeah, one of
Sounds
those
like
two.
that kind of thing.
Like
Yeah.
a big background for me is once Fantasy Split, I moved to War Machine, so I'm a big fan of your predetermined scenario locations because scenarios key in War Machine. Key.
It also stops someone from being like, here are my 2 objective markers. I have a lot of fly, so I'm going to put them right in the back corners. And you're pretty much fucked. Yeah.
So
And you're like, but why are we
point out
fighting
here,
over the corner? Go ahead.
Just potentially a mistake that Bart's made that I see a lot of players fall foul of. On the right-hand side with the 2 ceremonial guard, he's positioned the right-hand side unit so that it can't clear the left unit. So if anything charges the front there, because it's not nimble, and it would have been so easy just to angle that slightly so that you could go forward and then do 1 pivot and into the flank of whatever charges. Yeah. So as it is now, you can charge the left-hand side unit safely.
It's literally 3 degrees.
Yeah. The ancient troop can't hurt you. The regiment, the flank, which is put there as a guard, can't hurt you. It's very easy to do, and it's the sort of thing that on a tabletop you just put there and maybe wouldn't question. It's only on UB when you can see that actually you can't now make that charge.
Yeah, I will admit UB does skew it a little bit because you can see the arcs perfectly.
Yeah. Well, now we have the straightforward lines too, right? So it's very clear where you're going.
I actually preferred it when they weren't on. I know that's a controversial.
I love them.
I know it's a controversial thought, but I preferred it when there wasn't on. And I'm perfectly happy to say that's just me.
I'm like, I'm skeptical. Definitely just you.
So, Lucky's are shooting at, are they fanatics? Are they?
He's shooting at the foot guard.
Highlanders.
The Highlander foot guard with great weapons. So, see, great weapons. So they have claymores that make sense that they're Highlanders. It holds together.
I'm tempted to just override and give Bart the win.
Are they immortal? Well, we're about to find out if those like Kilodons keep shooting at them.
Let's see
we'll find out if they're immortal or not.
If they don't have regen 2+, I'm going to be annoyed.
If he chops the head off, do they just get stronger?
Yeah. So didn't waver them, so they are clearly immortal. After that very thorough test.
All right, moving into turn 2. What do we expect Tom to do with his second turn here?
I would put the mammoth into the ceremonial guard because I don't see a lot of reason not to. Gives you free reign to start moving up.
I would put I'd put the mammoth in, and I'd probably use Elliot to pin the guard. I'd probably put Elliot an inch towards the left of the guard that the mammoth's going to charge to proper pin the unit in.
That's you.
No, that's Tom.
No,
it's the hero.
Oh, that's Tom.
Hero with fire oil. It's Tom.
They should have named it. It would have been so much. I know all those great names, and they're like not named on the units. Really. So.
But what he has done is type them all out, which is incredible devotion because it's an absolute nightmare to do text on Universal Battle.
It is.
You've got to clone the element each time and then click through every letter to find it, and it's just a pain. So.
Yeah, I see them now. But...
Yeah, so he's done all of that and then hasn't typed the name in the
into the info.
Yeah, that's a good move. To be fair, I thought that was Elliot, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, we would be in a combat one, fly over and start threatening flanks because it's a peg in it, so it's unit strength, so it will be triple attacks.
Yeah,
with fire oil, and that
extra
crushing the regen.
Those like Kilodons are in trouble when the fire oil gets them. For anybody watching that doesn't know, Bart did write Tom's list and also made both of these UB armies, so Tom didn't have to make his own. And for a guy that decided to challenge up, which is what we generally consider the better way to do it. You either challenge laterally or challenge up, but you never challenge down. Bart's a good solid player, but he's definitely challenging up here to then go through and make all of the units for our little broadcast match here. It's very nice of him, and I appreciate the little touches he's added.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a bit surprised that with the militia horde on the left that Tom didn't grab the token. It's probably more just my style, but I always prefer to hold the tokens than not. Sure. I always think if you've got them, then your opponent has to deal with it then.
It's already an infantry horde. It's not going to get any slower.
Yeah.
To be fair, Tom can't pick it up either where it is. So it is safe.
Back up again, yeah.
Yeah, he'd have to get within an inch. So
that
Well,
that
it
token
could
is
by
within an
forcing
inch.
multi-charges though, but I suppose there's nothing else in range is it, to do that with.
No, exactly. He could use a clan lord to pin it in, but that
Or
seems
two.
the most pointless. Seems the most pointless use of a clan lord to just get a token.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But tokens with scenarios.
Yeah. So when I play Plunder, I always pick 3 tokens that I'm going to fight for, and the other
Yep.
2 are just the nice to have kind of ones. From looking here, I think Tom's chosen the right hand side 3 most.
Yeah.
And because there's so much about stuff on there, I think he's just going to use everything on the left to delay and to hold it up.
Yeah, because next turn, Tom's going to be in Bart's half, and probably that unit of spearmen behind is probably going to start going collecting.
Yep.
Or even me, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I think deploying on the bottom and going for the right hand side of the map is probably definitely like the easiest path to victory. The way the loot tokens end up being deployed and the way the terrain works out. For anyone who hasn't played their first round match, I think it's like six or 7 matches still out.
Yeah. It's interesting. I always chose the top on this map. I've played a few practice ones on here, and I've always chosen the top each time. But I think that's because I've got quite a lot of speed, and so the top gives you lots of open lanes and lots of choices to dart between. I had 3 regiments of fiends and 2 abyssal horsemen regiments. So
away you go. I even have just like this weird preference to playing on the bottom because I hate playing down. I don't know why.
Right, yeah. No, I know what you mean. We've been so conditioned to say that is the that's your side is playing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you there. Actually, completely agree. I usually choose the bottom on UB for no other reason than that.
Yeah, I know. Unless there's like a blatant reason I shouldn't take the top, I'm like bottom. Plus, I don't have to spin my units around. So
right.
There's an interesting one.
You can get them out facing down, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you click the down arrow and they all come out facing down.
I'm not that clever.
Can you? Wow.
I didn't know that, but
learn something new every day.
The more you know.
And you can spin every unit at once. You know that?
Yeah, I highlight.
You can multi-select them.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know.
Yeah, there's I play quite a lot of X-Wing on Vassal. And X-Wing is just played on a square board, and you either play left to right or right to left. And there are certain players that won't play you unless they can have their preferred side, because they can't figure out the spatial awareness because it's all done by templates and tokens, and so they just can't figure it out unless they're on their usual side.
That just sounds weird.
I know, but you can't pre-measure anything or check anything, and the amount of times people put left when they mean right, or vice versa.
Yeah, I guess if you can't measure too, that'd be harder. But
yeah.
I just don't catch things as much when I'm on the top. But probably says something about my immense talents.
No, I'm with you. It's just wrong.
It's just wrong. It just feels right because a lot of other games, right? Like if you played on the top side of I'm thinking like Hearthstone or something. If you're the top player, it's actually just you're still playing on your screen.
Yeah, you're always the bottom. Yeah. Well, because
it's just
how a table looks to you when you're stood at it, isn't it? This is always your
bottom.
You're always closest to your army.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh well. So I feel like is it just me or now we're moving. I was like, not much has really moved. I think
there's shuffling going on.
Yeah, Tom's had a brain fart by the looks of it. It looks like he's just frozen.
Yeah,
so
he slide.
Have shuffled into the trees.
Yeah,
I like that.
They are playing on a. Go ahead.
Well, by shuffling into the trees there, he's cut off Bart's options to turn towards the right completely. You've got that 14-inch charge range with Strider, and you've only got the speed for chaff of the Ancients. So there's now no way he can sweep down more towards the right without exposing flanks. So those 2 units there just shut down all of that.
He's picked the token up you were on about, Elliot, by the way.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yep.
I know. It makes sense. Especially when it's a horde like that.
Yeah.
Shooting.
So he hasn't put the mammoth into those ceremonial guard on the right like we thought he might.
No, he's probably right.
To be
It's
fair,
Tom.
it's turn 2, isn't it? You don't have to engage at this point. Usually with lists like this, it's probably better to engage about turn 3 or 4.
Usually, yeah. I guess it depends on your strategy. Like if Tom is going for those 3 tokens on the right, then like holding Bart's forces back there, picking up the tokens, and then just kind of backing away would be a valid way to do it. But maybe he's got something else in mind.
So Ancients took 2 more damage from the various shooting, but fine.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually killed on the first roll. And then rerolled it.
Oh, look, inspiring. It helps.
Strangely. So 2 turns and Tom's used less than 12 minutes of his clock. So they're motoring through.
So even though we thought he was having a bit of a brain fart, still kicking butt on the time.
It's a brain fart for Tom, to be fair.
Yeah. Tom's brain fart is my peak performance.
I know.
Well,
I feel like
when you're playing Kings of Men and you've spread out across the whole side, your first turn is literally just slide everything forward as far as it'll go. Done.
Yeah, done.
To be fair, he hasn't got a lot to do until combat, really, has he? He's got 3 shooting units.
No, true.
Yeah. But it's always good because I feel like I lose the majority of my clock in my first 3 turns.
Oh, always,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Like, and then you're like, oh fuck, I have 3 turns left and I only have this much time. But really at the end, once you're in combat, it's like roll the dice. Roll the dice. Yeah.
It's usually that turn 2, isn't it? That's the one that always drives your clock down.
It's the decision
turn 1 you've kind of got in place. Turn 2 is very much decision turn. Or it's me. Turn 2 is fine because you just charge everything and then see what happens.
Well, so usually like you deploy with something in mind and you see how your opponent deploys, and then whoever goes first like move and counter move. But then turn 2 is the first turn where you're like, okay, my initial plan is clearly not going to work anymore, so now I have to make up an entirely new plan. Let me think about this for a minute.
I totally forgot my opponent could do this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I need to redeploy the whole army.
Or like, oh look, my opponent got a lucky roll and now my unit that I needed is dead. What do I do?
Right.
Start again.
Start
So-
again.
Ancients charging into the militia horde.
Just to get some damage on, I'm expecting.
I was surprised to see all of them on the flank. I'm not really sure what the point was of the Lycodons out there. I would have liked the Lycodons in this list, actually, in Plunder, to be just scattered amongst all of the units because they're such wonderful unit strength. And they can still easily all focus down on something.
Well, and also just even as like a cleanup method, right? Like if something dies and you need that little bit of damage, it's great to just have that shot potential. But hanging out way far on the right flank, they're not really going to be able to do that very well.
No, and Tom's going to be able to shut 2 down this turn because he'll potentially can flank one and block line of sight with another.
Yeah.
And they don't really have anything in front of them to chaff or like, they're not really supporting anything of it. Like I could see how late game, if they survive and get to the hill, they could shoot, a couple of units of Toms that are carrying tokens. But yeah, as it is, they're going to be too easy to shut down.
Oh,
yeah.
Going for the mammoth. But it's in the flank of the mammoth, so he doesn't really care. It's not blocking him. It's
It's hindered though, which is the thing.
It is. It's hindered.
Over a fence getting there.
Yeah.
It's not going to do a lot.
I just imagine like a velociraptor, like running really fast and just tripping over the fence and like headbutting
over the long
into the
grass
side
and then
just like headbutting into the mammoth. I'm helping.
I feel like it might have been better just running past, even if you just stood in front of the archers.
Yeah, out of arc.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't think Inspiring's in range, so you could spike a roll, kill it in one go.
No, Inspiring's in range.
Is it?
Yeah, 9 inch.
9.
Yeah,
Oh,
very,
just-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just barely.
At least
The
it's
only
one
inspiring
inspiring.
source.
Hey, at least it's very inspiring.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Like,
To be fair, yeah, I think the Lycodons would have been better just lining up against me, to be fair, and just shoot the shit out of me as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because a general's not exactly hard to kill, really, is he? He's only 12, 14, death 5.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take much to kill that.
Yeah. And then there goes all your inspiring.
Yeah, which is. Though I mean, when you only have the one in source, I feel less like, oh, I really got to shut that down. It's like.
That's what a lot of people do when like. I used to run lists with like one or two inspiring sources, and everyone just ignored it. But I'm like, if you actually went for that, my list falls apart. But people have the mindset of, there's only one or two bits of inspiring. It's not, it can't do a lot, but you can cover most of an army with one or two inspiring, especially when it's very inspiring.
Yes. However, I find with like the generals, like when they're flying, I find they tend to end up away from things a little bit. Like I don't know, when I play with them, I find they're only really ever get like maybe 1 or 2 units if we're lucky, like sometimes they're out like shutting something down or off hunting for a token or doing something else. So
Yeah.
then I find them less of an importance in the inspiring part.
Completely. But I think in a list like this, you've got one and it is a flying one, so you kind of ignore the fact it flies. I think that's your mindset. I think you just think it's a boosted inspiring for the bigger base.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Bart's already ticked over Tom's clock, just to let people know. So
what's he at?
57.
Just gone past 57. Tom's on 58.
Okay, so he's ticking along. Yeah. But then I think
not slow yet.
I think also double, like having the 2 lines, like the backup line makes you feel a little slower because you really got to figure out where you want that back. Like, where's your first one going to be, because that's going to impact where my second line is. And instead of whereas like Tom just like I go forward, which for his first round makes it a lot easier.
I'm still a fan of the double line here because I don't get what Tom does. Like Tom can charge and kill the ancients now, but then the rhinosaurs and the tyrants behind will just kill anything.
It wasn't so much
and then the counter attack won't kill them because there's nothing killing in Tom's list.
It wasn't necessarily a critique on how he deployed. I just mean I think it takes more time at the beginning because it's impacts so much where your back line is.
Yeah, you're right. You're always thinking about it, and you're almost playing 2 games, aren't you?
Because you don't want to. The last thing you want to do is then be pinned and unable to do anything, right? So
one thing Bart is doing is he's homing into the center with everything.
Yeah,
like
I guess he's.
I know there's only crossbowmen on the left, but it's giving free shots basically all over the place.
Yeah, I just ignore them. Who cares? It's crossbowmen.
Yeah, they're only crossbowmen. Who plays shooting?
I think Bart's doing right because the 3 tokens he's picked are the 2 that are worth 2. He just picked the middle 3. And they're the ones. I like what he's done here. I like that he's just, brought everything in towards the middle. He's using his advantage that he's got that very, very strong chaff wall, and Tom has very little speed.
Because if
one thing
he can
that
get
Tom
past
could
that
do,
line,
go ahead.
Because if he can get past that centre line, but if Bart can get past that centre line, it's going to be very hard for Tom to remove him.
Yeah. I'm just noticing that where Tom has positioned Nick here, he can actually charge into the tyrants here.
Yeah, and chaff him.
And chaff them up for a turn.
Should
Go,
do
Nick!
Get in the way.
We just gotta annoy the shit out of them, the tyrants, okay?
This is where I would have liked the Mammoth to have charged the ceremonial guard, because it would have just kept those 3 units just clumped there.
There'd have been nowhere near an objective to compete, which is the big thing.
Yep. And then the time bandits could just walk up, grab the 2, and then start backing up into the woods.
Yeah.
Especially because
all of the Lakelodons around, sorry, just to look at the oh no, it's changed my mind.
I was going to say, especially because it would have taken advantage of the fact that that 1 unit was pinned and wasn't going to be able to help out anywhere.
Yeah.
So it would have really pinned down everything into that shitty position.
Yeah, it just changes the flow of the game then, doesn't it? It stops Bart being able to do this sort of horseshoe closing in. And as you said, Mike, then you just sneak forward, grab the token, then back away.
That thing one needs to be back a little bit, just because it's an unhindered charge at that point.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He needs to use that bit of terrain for an advantage. Because what did heroes have? 3 attacks? Is it 3?
Yeah.
So obviously changing it from a 3 to a 4 would make a huge difference there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then I've watched and been part of a lot of Tom's games, and anytime we critique something he does, then he turns around and does something. We're like, oh, I see. Yes, did not think of that. Good job.
What we should do, Ashley, is just go. Now Tom's seen something. I'm not going to point it out yet, but you'll see when it happens.
when you see it, you're going to be shocked.
Yeah,
you're going to be the most clickbaity. You'll never believe what Tom will do next.
Yeah, because we're neither away.
Exactly.
Because if I were Tom, I'd actually charge thing 3.
I would go over the back.
Yeah. Jump over.
Yeah,
have those two turn around.
Yeah, the
How
peg's
tall are
4. 3. 3.
3. Yeah.
Peg's 4. Lickies are 3.
Lickies are 3?
Yeah.
Lickies?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I would charge the flank of the ceremonial guard, because the Highlanders are also in charge range, I think.
Have they moved yet? I don't
Yeah,
know if
they've.
Yeah, they're all the way on the hill now.
I didn't realise that. I thought they were still to move. It's my mistake.
I think he just bumped him up.
Shooting.
See. Yeah, so he shot a fireball from his mage priest to Nick in the middle there.
I'm liking that Tom's just informed Bart about Wild Charge in the list that Bart wrote.
Yeah.
He's sort of like, yeah, I'm out. And he's like, but Wild Charge.
So the Pope is the Pope is at least his signature fireball move.
Oh, his friend wrote it. That's right.
Okay.
Actually wrote it.
Ooh, so
Right,
first colored one has 5 out of 5 hits,
So,
but
Nice.
only 1 damage.
So, do you guys actually do Brits actually say mate in an unironic way? Like it's just used in general?
Right, say what, sorry?
So he says, no, his mate wrote it. Like people use it in day to day.
Yeah, as in friend.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. I'm just asking because, just want to know.
Mate and love. Mate and love get used a lot.
I call everyone
Yorkshire.
love.
Well, in Yorkshire, a 60-year-old man will quite happily call another 60-year-old man love, and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, the burliest sailor bloke down in a pub will call you love, and it's just is what it is.
I
Yeah, I
got called
definitely
man
got,
the other day.
You did. I definitely got called my love in a chip shop somewhere in England. I forget exactly where.
Or
Cheers,
duck.
my love.
If you're from Nottingham, it's duck.
Don't go to Midlands in UK.
Cheers,
call
duck.
you duck. Fuck off, duck.
Okay, so
Here
always a
comes,
Tom's
Wild
3.
Charge.
So Wild Chargers both got the +3. All got +3.
Woo! Woo! We go
Wild
fast.
charging everywhere. Yeah, since they're all 3s, you don't have to put markers on them anymore. You just remember they're all 3. Easy.
Rigged.
So I would get everything I can into those right-hand units now.
Just charging. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because there's no overlap at the minute. There's nothing seeing, and there's no heal in this list. So just wallop it as much as you can. The Ancients, I think, I can get flanked by Adam. Various things can mob in.
Yeah, I'd go in with everything and try and the horde on the right, I would move forward.
Just push
pivot.
forward, full 10. Yeah.
I'd go forward 5 and then pivot just to threaten the flanks. Actually, I don't think you need to go further than 5.
Oh yeah,
just with the direction that the Lickies are facing.
So just jumping back into the combat on the militia.
Yeah.
3 damage.
That never even clicked. They never did that combat.
The slightly Nazi-ish militia. Social Democratic Party. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, oh, interesting.
Not sure that was an intended combination of references there.
I think he also forgot to do his clan lord on Raptor into the mammoth, but we'll see if he remembers to do that.
Do we point it out?
No, we tend not to
No.
jump in unless.
Usually they will notice it when Tom goes to move the mammoth and goes, "Wait a minute."
Yeah. I can't remember. We did have one where asked if there was rules questions or thing for us
There
to
it is.
intervene. See?
Yeah, if they want to ask questions, do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's not. We don't go and intervene.
You might as well use the base that's there if there's something you're not sure on, especially if you're on stream.
Yeah, but like even I noticed I have forgotten more things in newbie than I would on the tabletop, simply for also the fact that like if something starts coming around the flank and into the rears, kind of like some flyer or something, you have to reach over the model to do anything. So you're like, well, I know it's there, but on the tabletop, it's like, oh, look at this little tiny square over in the back or on the side, just hanging out.
I've forgotten whole units before. I've moved an individual into a forest and then just it's gone for the whole game.
Yeah, I just completely forgot it was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andy were funniest one. A Clash of Kings. He had a dragon.
Forgot to deploy his dragon.
No, he deployed the dragon, moved the dragon up a flank, then he put his pint down in front of the dragon, and because the pint blocked the dragon, he forgot about it.
I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that wasn't the first pint he'd had that day.
I was just going to say, I'm like, how many pints before this one?
Right,
This
so Nick
were only
is
game
fighting
one.
the Pope in a fantastic reenactment of history. Nick is taking on the Pope. So the Highlanders have charged the and Andy's on the flank. Look at that! I called it.
Do they have duelist?
No idea. I've never seen one used.
Instigator? No, it does not. Crushing one, it's on 3, 6 attacks. That's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little characters in this game that have duelist that just come out of nowhere. So I just wondered.
I love that rule though. I missed
great.
it, but it's awesome. How many points is the instigator? Minch.
85.
Okay, you guys got there before I got the tab open. That's really nice for 6 attacks. That's not bad.
No, it's not at all.
It's worth putting in because, especially at melee 3 crushing 1, it's the Ripper Soul Drinker, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's this point level that needs to be. Well, it is now. Fearless 14, Death 4 is hard to move, believe it or not. So it's good chaff as well. And it's mighty. The mighty's brilliant.
Yeah.
So that doesn't
Why aren't they played? You're looking at it now. Why aren't they
because
played?
they don't inspire is the main reason.
Because there's other options.
Yeah.
First, you would have to play Kingdoms of Men. Then,
Yeah, because
I
Raw are
see
just
them-
better, aren't they?
I see quite a few of them with wings because they get the
that
wild
one.
charge as well.
is there an assassin in the Kingdoms of Men list?
Yeah.
Yes,
There is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
there is. Yes,
So we would kind of compete with that for a character sniper kind of. Yeah,
and I think
Assassins
that's
Make it
are
better.
expensive, though.
they are.
But it does have
and he
duelist.
makes a better War Machine Hunter, I would guess.
I'm
The
also
wings.
pretty sure the assassin has duelist as well.
Yeah.
So it looks like
Which
he's
makes
putting
sense.
so he's putting Mammoth and hindered fanatics into the entrance. I wouldn't be surprised if the other fanatic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that coming.
I don't like that though because that's now a flank charge next turn. So they're dead.
I think it's more to hold
But it's
them in
champion.
place, though.
Yeah, I know.
Because sacrificing a fanatic card to secure that flank is worth every single point.
and it's a
Yeah.
Fanatic's reg, so not even a horde, right? Like,
Yeah.
Even a horde, I'd sacrifice a horde to secure a flank every day of the week.
So is that spear troop in range of the scary Rhinosaur Cav?
What speed are Cav 7?
7.
Yeah,
it
so
no.
is. It's well in.
6,
Hindered and-
Oh, it is, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no, they've
Hindered
got
and-
the Pathfinder.
the Pathfinder.
Oh yeah,
They got
just
Pathfinder.
yeah. Oh, and Phalanx. So
Yeah,
it's -2
yeah.
anyway.
They're within 12, so well within charge range of the
Yeah.
Cav.
But
And they're within
it's
charge
not
range of the
and,
Tyrants.
but they would be hindered and they would be ensnared, so they'd be on 6s. So
You could
Right.
make it unchargeable, though. You could secure that if needed.
and you'd have to get the ancients out there. Yeah, I like that. I like phalanx, terrain, and ensnare is always going to be a good combination.
Yeah.
And if you don't break it, you then got 2 monsters in your flank.
What I'd be doing if I were Bart is I'd be moving them ancients forward, and then getting the tyrants in on the corner charge on the spears, unhindered corner charge to avoid all the rules they've got.
Just ensnare, yeah.
Well, just ensnare. Because the Tyrant Horde will bust through that, even hitting on 5s with Elite. It's only a edge.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's a
13, 15.
13, 15.
Not many.
Yeah, so 30 attacks.
5s and 2s.
What's that tit?
12 with Elite.
No, you're on 5s, aren't you?
Yeah, 30 attacks, so it's 10 normally, then 2 more for Elite.
Oh, yeah. Elite 10, 12. Wounded on 2s, 10 damage. That puts you well within kill range.
So
that's what I'd do.
I'm illegally dropping a token, I think. So on the left-hand side, you're supposed to drop a token within your. Oh, you go. There you go. I think it has to be within your footprint, and I think Tom was about to throw it out the back.
Well, that's the old rules.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You used to drop it touching your base. Now you have to drop it underneath your base.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't just do full here you go. Like everyone actually has to move to pick it up.
Yeah.
In the
conveyor belt. It would actually have been quite useful to have the crossbows pick that up there.
Yeah, it would be.
But also against the rules.
Yeah, fully within footprint. But it does mean the crossbows can pick it up as soon as that horde moves because it's within walk range.
Yeah, exactly. It's still crazy to think that we're a year into third and I feel like we've had almost no games of it. The stupid pandemic. Some of these rules still feel new to me.
It's really annoying, isn't it? I've decided now that I'm fed up of COVID.
Yeah.
I've come to the decision.
You should come live on the island with me. We have no COVID here, so.
I wish I could say the same, but we definitely do.
Oh, that's right. You moved to Vancouver, right? That is an island. Never mind.
Vancouver Island. Vancouver City is actually on the mainland.
Okay.
Yeah, but Vancouver Island. Yeah.
You threw me for a second. I was like, "What imaginary island have you gone to?" Actually, I don't understand.
I'm island living now,
Oh, but you used to live in Montreal. That's an island too, isn't it?
Yeah, Montreal is an island as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You have a knack for finding island cities to live in.
Except for I grew up in the middle of nowhere, 8 hours from the ocean before, but.
So this next turn for Bart is where Bart should try and take advantage because the Inspiring is moving away from the left.
Yep.
So literally the only things inspired are both of the spear regiments to the left of the general. So
on the left-hand side, yeah.
On the left-hand side, so the monsters. So the giant, the mammoth, and everything on the left is uninspired. So I'd be putting everything I could physically get in.
The crossbow is
on the left.
Yeah.
4 hull damage.
I'm so proud. Hey,
between the two of them, yeah.
Oh yeah, the first one did nothing. But the second one did 4.
Yeah. I'll take it. Go crossbows.
It's a thing.
I was thinking when we were talking all that shit about the crossbows, I was like, watch Tom have some crazy luck with them, and the next thing we know, we're just gonna see all these lists with crossbowmen.
Every list is just crossbowmen now.
And people are like, why is this not good? You're like, well.
You rolled an 11. Are they withered?
Yeah.
OP crossbow.
Okay, there we go. New hashtag. Hashtag OP crossbows.
Yeah. I've got my notepad out. Don't worry. It's a bit mean blocking Ashley off with her own hashtags.
Yeah, I know. I liked that when Bart went to read his list, and it's just Bart's list, and covers his whole face, and you're like, love it.
I am the list now.
That's great.
So the horde did no damage to the ancient troop. Looks like.
I think
No,
it's
it did
two.
some.
Did it do one? No, it did one. Okay.
It's got hammer
But
and measure
there's-
force thing on that one, so it's
but still didn't do a lot.
yeah.
Oh, I did not even realise they had hammer. I missed
Yeah,
that completely.
roll them up 5 damage and then roll 6.
Alright.
Yeah, so Thomas picks up tokens.
All right, let's see.
So Tom's got 4 out of 5 tokens at the moment.
Oh, Mammoth has done not a whole lot.
Okay.
Only 3 damage, I suppose, but it's not great.
This is where Time Bandit's one shot.
3 more. Nope, so killed him with the first roll, but then
Did the mammoth pick up that 2-point token or not? Doesn't look like it.
I'm not sure.
Someone picked it.
He
Oh,
said-
no, it was the unit in the middle that picked it up. The spears in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like he's moved all the ones that are picked up, so I'm guessing no at the moment.
I don't know. He did say at the end of the turn he was picking up tokens, so we'll see.
Because you can pick up the token at the end of any phase.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. So he could have waited to see if he broke that unit and then decided. Yeah, crank
Surely
it
are
up.
crank your bastards. Oh, that's I thought that was an overall.
Nope.
Oh, it is an
not
overall.
yet.
Oh, it is. With him.
I was like, why does it say W? And then it's like, oh, I get it now. Like,
That's a big waiver, is that? That's just delayed a whole turn of.
Yeah, that's.
yeah, exactly. Because we were basically like, oh yeah,
That's
they're
big.
gonna die. That flanks. That's huge. Go flying circus.
Yeah, that's actually really big.
That's a good amount of damage as well.
Mhm.
From foot guard, yeah. And now
Yeah.
the hero in the flank.
Just 3 damage, 9 damage. That's good for a reg.
It's crush 1, I think, isn't it? So 2 damage.
Oh,
Not dead. 14.
Yep.
Yep. And
Right then.
first blood. Took
That
the
was-
top of 3.
Unexpected. And
So
Tom,
now-
Tom in usual,
Oh, Tom.
self-deprecating, so bravely, Tom.
I feel like I need to come to the UK and meet you Northern Kings.
I wouldn't
Mostly
recommend
Tom.
You just get pissed. You just end up smashed by end at night.
Yeah, sure. I didn't do that at Masters and almost die on Saturday morning. Oh, that wasn't me.
Like I was hanging day 2 of Masters. I can't remember my first game.
Tom won his the first Clash of Kings. Tom won. He had to go for a nap between games 5 and 6. 'Cause he was so hungover. And he was pale white and swaying, and he only just got out of bed because I dragged him out of bed before the first game and got him down there. And then he had to go find a sofa and have a quick nap between rounds.
It was the first Clash of Kings that I went to down at Firestorm where
Ooh,
round
so 4 damage
one,
on the top.
round 1, me and Tom were asleep in corner.
So that's an 11. That's a wavered pub as well, I think.
His eternal soul is at stake. My worst was like at Masters this year, like at the best of the rest part of the tournament. Jake Cherapika had challenged, or I had challenged him anyway. We were gonna play. I'm so thankful it was him because I'm pretty sure anyone else would have been like, "Who the fuck is this mess?" Like I was absolutely dead. I think I had like 2.5 hours of sleep. Roll up with like my hood up, and I'm just like, "No one talk loud. No one look at me. I'm about to die."
Pushing the units from a distance so you don't have to lean over.
He's like, all of a sudden, he said his favorite part was me going, "Oh, I see food," and just like slowly sauntering away. He just left the table and was like,
I'll be back, maybe.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So wild charge rolling the tyrants, they get 2.
Am I the only person lazy enough not to change the dice to a D3 when they roll a D6 on UB?
Oh, no.
I don't either. What kind of people do that?
I know. I'm looking at like they're both changing it from D6 to D3, and I'm just thinking, what are these people?
Oh my gosh, what game did we stream where someone hadn't changed it back to D6 and was like, we were like, how'd they miss all those? And we're like, oh, they didn't change it. Mike had to message them and be like, you might want to re-roll that.
Yeah, you might want to change that back.
We're like, how did they miss 12 attacks? Like,
right. How did they not roll over 3?
oh.
I've rolled before and assumed I was on D3s. Just had to go back and check that I was definitely on D6s.
It's more when you roll, when you're doing epic dwarf maps, so you roll a D20 to choose a map, and then you forget to change the dice, and then you still lose first turn 1.
I don't think I've had that kind of luck, but
yeah, I've had that before.
yeah. Well done, Padley. So I feel like that was a really good round for Tom with the waivers he got.
Yeah.
Wavering the 2 units and along with the Pope. Because, how do you move forward if your Pope is wavered?
Is that automatically losing?
Yeah.
If your Pope dies, surely that's just game over there.
Well, don't you just get a new Pope anyways? So.
No, you have like a rebellion.
We're going to see like white smoke across the battlefield as a new Pope.
Like a rebellion or something. The Pope dies. Revolution. I don't know.
Right, so I think Tom is currently up 3 because I don't think he picked up that 2-point token. He may have.
It doesn't look like it. No, I think he's
Tom's on 3 tokens to 0.
Yeah.
Yep, and in a good position to pick up another one because he's basically sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
Tom is giving away the left flank, though. I feel we know inspiring over there because 2 ancients should chew through that unit and potentially this turn.
However, let's be realistic. He's gonna want with one source of inspiring, kind of always giving up something.
It can only be in so many places. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I feel like it can't really be like I'm giving up this flank by not putting inspiring there when I have one inspiring source.
So he sent the ancients in by themselves. Oh no!
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that was suicide if he did that.
But he does have his one inspiring source within 3 points worth of objectives, which is enough to win the game. So,
it's where it needs to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what he's using that general for is to jump on that objective if needed.
Yeah.
Is he
I'm
doing
not the biggest fan of that.
I think he's going to double up. It's a coin toss whether it works or not.
Oh.
I suppose if you put both clan lords into both monsters.
Ooh,
he's doing that.
I like that more. That protects your rhinoceros.
I'd have been tempted to put both clan lords into the front of both monsters to pin them there, and then double up on that phalanx unit.
No.
Clan lords are mighty, are
they are mighty.
Yeah.
Or the lord one is. You need 1 damage on anyway to become mighty.
They are mighty. Yeah.
It just stops the mammoth completely. If he fails to damage with the mammoth, it blocks him in. Yeah, I like that. It takes the whole threat away that Tom had of those 2 units.
And I'd put wonder if you could put the clan lord in a position to block to make the rhinoceros unhindered into the spears.
Potentially, yeah.
I think you could.
But they're still going to be ensnared and phalanxed. So
yes, actually, it won't make a difference.
It won't make any difference, would it?
-2, regardless. Yeah.
We're still hitting on 6s.
Maybe send them both into that spear edge and just roll dice and take them off.
Right.
Well, as you say, 13, 15 is not a lot.
That's what I mean.
Both, or actually, the rhinoceros have caterpillars, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't make a difference.
So they should do 12, and if that other unit does 1 or 2, you're comfortably killing, aren't you?
Well, how many? They've only got 18 attacks, haven't they? So it's rhinoceros.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking I'm thinking tyrant.
They'll be on 5. So it should be 6 hits. And then
5 damage.
No, not even that, because it's 3s.
Oh, I thought they were.
So
you lost thunders. Sorry.
Yeah, you lose 1 with thunders. Or no, I guess you lose both the thunders, yeah.
So you're looking at 6 damage total, aren't you, really?
Yeah, but you're not in any danger there.
No, it don't matter because the
Well, you are in
Giants.
danger because Tom will charge the Nick into the rear and waver them. That's just how it's gone so far.
Sure.
You're going to get a Nick in the rear?
Yep.
You really
We've all been there.
that.
It happens.
Oh, that's Clash of Kings all over again.
I was going to be like, what is that, like the induction into Northern Kings?
Is it?
Yeah, it's pass me another Nick. This one's split.
Oh, that's an image I do not want.
I love it.
Oh, Nick didn't. He's going to give me some grief when I see him.
All right, so last turn. Sure. So last turn, Tom pushed in hard on everything on the right side. And this turn, Bart is just pushing hard into the middle on everything.
Yeah, left and middle. I feel like it looks like Tom's winning the right, but Bart's winning the left.
Mm-hmm.
With the fact that there's not a lot of inspiring on the left, one or two good rolls here could make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also, can someone give me a clock update?
So Tom's on 42, Bart's on 43.
Okay.
So
lots of time left.
it's loads of time, yeah.
It's loads. Because what do they got? 3 turns left, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been through what would normally be your meatiest turns.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And everything's engaged now, so stuff will start dying soon, very fast.
Yeah, exactly. Less pieces to contend with.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I'm so
Yes,
cold. I'm like,
So I guess that wavered unit on the hill probably would have gone into the horde, the militia horde over on the left.
I would guess so, yeah. And that
yeah.
would have taken them off.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 20 attacks there on 3s and 2s. That has a good enough chance of breaking in, you know. They're only 1921, I think, aren't they, militia? They're not.
I could see that.
1821, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, let me go look at
Which
the list.
that's going to be a pain for Tom because then he'll pass the token over to the undamaged one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those ancient troops are just ideal for plunder.
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh yeah, and the militia mob are only defense 3, right? So
Yeah.
it's like the wound stick. I don't ever play with militia, so
Not many people do, don't they?
well, and they're irregular still, right? So
Yeah. They're cheap. They're cheap unit strength. They've got a decent amount of crushing 1 attacks. That's the point. Haven't they got crushing 1 and he's giving them the hammer of measured force?
Didn't Nick do that by accident?
wait, the militia?
Do they?
mob?
They
They don't have crushing. They don't have crushing.
No, should
Have they not? Or is it pole arms, whatever they call it? They've got crush 1.
Yeah, they have crushing, but militia
Yeah,
mob
but-
don't.
Foot
So
guard, yeah.
You want to take pole arms in troops anyway.
Not anymore, you don't. Still exist.
No, you don't.
no pole arms and regiment.
Tom used to take 12 pole arm troops on the list. It was horrendous.
I wrote this super silly list for the Canadian tournament I played in, and it was like all foot guard and pole arm regiments essentially.
Yes, she is.
No, it's just a massive scarf. That's all. It's a
What?
fashion statement.
What did I miss a comment? Yes, I'm cold. It's Canada, okay? I don't want to turn the heat on yet.
It's actually called It's Canada. Of course she's
It's
cold.
Canada. I mean, actually, I'm in like one of the warmest spots, but yes, I'm still cold.
Just that one spot is really warm.
Yeah.
It's a very specific microclimate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 'cause we have a very similar climate to Seattle, right? Because we're like right across the water where we are.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting next to the window, so that's my own fault.
All right, moving on to shooting.
So, guessing everything's just going to pile up. It is interesting that his left is one of them in cover, thing 3 in cover.
Yeah.
You know, he could have shuffled that to avoid that.
First one misses with all.
Yeah. Second one only does one.
Oof.
Why didn't he recharge it?
Yeah, I would have recharged it. To be honest,
I'd
you're
have
not
put
bad
2
in
into
combat.
rear. Put 2 into rear. Hopefully kill it. And then turn to face. Because at the moment, it looks like he's going to lose 2 lickies anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because licky 3 and licky 1 will get charged.
That kills him, I believe. 10-12.
Is it 10-12 or the hero?
I think so.
It's 10-12.
Yeah,
And
so
there's definitely no inspiring anywhere. So
that's Tom just checking his list because he doesn't know.
yep. So there goes bravely brave Sir Tom.
Valiantly shot to death.
That's pretty. I feel like that's pretty scary when your namesake dies in your list.
Yeah.
Are these
so there's definitely
foretellings?
a moral victory from Bart there.
Bravely shot in the back.
That was the moral victory. He did his moral victory in turn 3, so now he's like, I don't care who.
I can't wait till later on when Tom reverses Adam into a tyrant horde. It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen, and he's going to throw me under the bus just because it's me. And I don't blame him. It's probably deserved.
Moving on to combat. Let's see where they're going to start. All right, we're going to start over here on the.
Tom could really do a win in this one because if he wins it, then he can countercharge one or the other and move off that token and have one of these other units grab it.
Yeah, because I'd countercharge the one on the right and then shoot the shit out of the one on the left.
That's not great, actually.
No, because that's... Ooh, with a roll.
They're fine. Right, so that's brilliant for Tom there because he can drop a token wherever he wants, countercharge, and either have me or one of the crossbow hordes.
Are they... Because what are they? 1821. So he only needed a 5 to waver.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Right, something with 10 attacks.
Yeah, over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, Time Bandits.
They're Fearless 16, I believe, or Fearless 15, something like that. No. Anyway, rolled a 4, so they're fine.
Yep.
This should do. Oh, 8 hits on 4s.
Not bad, not bad.
Just don't care.
And that's going to be Spear Phalanx, Defense 4. So I was looking for 3s.
Yeah, so 5 damage.
Not bad. And a 9.
Wavers him.
That'll waver, yep.
Yeah, it's a pain, but it's not the end of the world. It'd have been a lot worse if it died there.
That'd have put Bart in an amazing position.
Yeah. If you could then flank the mammoth and everything, you just lose all the advantage that you gained.
Yep. Right, looks like
this will be an interesting one. There's a not, Sancho trying to break into me.
1 wound, 2 wounds, 2 wounds.
What's the giant's nerve? He's fairly high, isn't he? Like,
well, they're Fearless 18 or something.
And I think they've got a wave volume now.
1820.
Yeah.
I was right with the 18 bit at least. It was the Colossal Giant that was Fearless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the Colossal was Fearless 20.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, so he's going to need a 12 to waver there. Not getting it on a 7. Okay.
But he should be fine on the counter attack there, you would think.
All right. Back into the other mammoth.
I just like that right now when you read it, it says want chonk.
Surely there's a question mark somewhere.
Yeah. Is this a fresh charge? Did the mammoth not counter charge last turn?
It didn't counter charge, no. So it's
I think he didn't want to turn.
Yeah.
So this is another hinder charge.
Yeah.
I think it was the right call not to counter charge, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Yeah. Stay facing forward.
One more.
Yeah, better position.
Yep.
So is a mammoth fearless? I don't think it is again, is it? I And,
It's dash 18.
yeah.
Might as well be fearless at that point.
Which is helpful, though, having fearless units when you've got no inspiring.
True.
Just a little bit more reliable. Right, big one.
So I think that's 4 hits. No, 3 hits.
3 hits, 1 damage from the Cannon Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know why I look like I'm praying.
This is the big one, in my opinion. Here, if this combat goes Bart's way, I'd be pointing the rhinos towards the right. If this goes Bart's way.
Oh yeah, massive.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, 4 hits. Never mind.
I spoke too soon. Elite.
Oh yeah, 6
Two
hits.
more?
Okay, so picks up 2 more on elite. Sure.
I think he's just rolled damage there. I think he's forgot about elite.
Oh, they're not elite. They're not elite. The tyrants are elite.
The tyrants are elite. That's right. They got Pathfinder.
Sorry.
That's right. They got Pathfinder.
And
my
7,
fault.
they're fine. Yeah, they're not wavered.
Yep.
Not nothing.
I'm liking Bart's position at the moment, though. Well, apart from the right, I'm liking Bart's position.
Yeah, I'm liking Tom's personally. I think Tom's going to do some damage this turn.
I didn't want to mention Tom just to, you know what I mean. But
To be unpartisan.
I'm liking Bart's position, but Tom's is better.
I would have really liked Bart's position if he'd have killed that pike horde there.
Yeah.
Or either of the pike regiments, because even the ancient troop spinning around to threaten the rear of all that would be very powerful. Because that mammoth's going to pick up that token now. Is the are the Highlanders in arc of the regiment? Look like they are. Yeah, so that's probably a dead ceremonial guard regiment there, because that's going to be a flank charge.
Oh, they are just in arc. I missed that one.
Yeah. So that's going to be a flank charge there, flank and front. That's a lot of attacks.
Unless the ancients flank the Highlanders, just to kill a unit.
It's Tom's turn.
Tom's turn.
I don't think we get anything in parallel.
Oh, sorry, I'm a turn behind.
Yeah, it's not technically correct, Tom, but it doesn't matter. So what? You follow all the normal rules for alignment. So you would pick up and place the individual as long as he's still touching the initial point of contact.
Where's this?
Tom charging the Cannon Lord. So as he was there was plenty of room just to pick him up and place him still in contact. But it doesn't matter.
It wasn't right, but it ended up being correct.
Yeah, it'll make very little difference.
And I think as long as they're both agreed on it and no one feels cheated, then sometimes.
Yep. So they go the Highlanders into the flank, the ceremonial guard.
Yeah, not surprised.
And that militia charge, I think, 2 in the flank, I would guess.
Now I'm surprised Tom hasn't dropped.
Oh my gosh!
On the militia have countercharged the ancient troop. No.
So the militia. Are you thinking the militia mob horde on the other side, on the left?
On the left, yeah.
I think he dropped it already, and that's the corner where it was before, and he probably said I dropped it, so.
Oh, so it's sat on the floor there. Yeah.
It's just sitting there. Yeah. So I think if he had charged the other one, then he would have been able to move up with the crossbows and pick it up.
Yeah.
So, because the crossbows are going to shoot the ceremonial guard on the hill, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Tom's
I've bravely flown over to grab that 2-point token.
Yep.
Because
that's very brave.
It's the sort of guy I am.
Yeah, that militia horde's dying next turn.
Oh yeah, but if he has dropped the token, like Ashley says, that's perfect. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because if you're holding the token and you die, then they can just take it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, whereas now it's just.
It's a 2-inch overrun to get it.
No, but it's a pretty good chance he should die this turn to that troop of ancients.
Mhm.
5s and
And then you
4s again.
Yep.
And then you just reform in such a way that the next turn's charge over won't put you in the path of the token.
I feel really bad for this Licky Don. This thing, he's gonna get a. He's got a little
50
horde,
attacks.
just like
It's a lot of attacks both on 6s.
yes, but it just looks terrifying. Poor
I
little
don't bleed him from the
Licky
rear.
Don. Yeah.
25, so it's 50 in the flank. Oh no! Are those kind of war machines or monsters? Monsters.
They're
okay.
monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look
So
what
it's
Tom's
50
done with the
attacks.
mammoth. Look at that. Look at that. That must be pixels.
Yeah.
Pixels of clearance there. Sneaky little flank charge.
Yep. And he moved that 2-point token, so I guess the mammoth had picked it
Yeah,
up.
mammoth has picked it up here.
So then
you're
it must.
shooting.
Is he carrying it then? Because he wouldn't be able to be that far off his base if he wasn't carrying it.
Yeah,
Nah,
I
I
think
think
he's
he's just
carrying.
moved it around.
Wind blast.
Wind blast!
I like that a lot. Yeah,
Push it on the hill.
2 inches takes him. Oh, and the staff. No, is that just out or just in?
2 is enough.
2 is enough.
It is just barely.
I told
but it
you.
is
I
enough.
told you. I'm just that kind of guy.
Hit the wrong thing. There it is. Yep, just barely.
It's 12 inches or 13?
12.
10.
Just over 12.
Just over 12.
Just over 10.
Just over 10, sorry. I don't
Just,
know.
over,
Roundabout.
just over 10.
So he also shot at them with the crossbows, I'm assuming. Oh, that's an 11.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a dead? Yes, it is. All that wind blast was for nothing.
No, it was not. It was a moral victory. You used your 20-point spell, okay?
Did the thing. Wind
Oh,
blast
wait,
out of
wind
range
blast
for
out of
inspiring. Oh, that's that. No, he didn't. Wind blasted out of inspiring range. That's incredible, Adam.
It is incredible. I missed that
I
little bit.
told you.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
you that I was going to be clutch.
When blasted out of its
It's
fire.
because you're the bravest.
Wow.
Clearly, and the most magnificent. I think is the as the title suggests.
Is that what it is?
So 3 more wounds and a 4. They should be fine. That's at a 12, right?
Yeah, that's
Ancient
one shot.
troops or dash 13. Yeah,
That's unlucky, but they were lucky to still be alive. So.
true.
Oh, Elliot, you're just an enchanter.
Oh, sorry, I'm enchanting, not magnificent.
You're enchanting, and not Tim. Get here for me
Leave
to
me
do.
alone.
Get here for me to do.
They took our jobs.
All right.
So,
So mammoth on the clan lord.
yeah, 7 damage. So that's killed him.
And
Oh,
that has
he's
not-
fine.
Overrun.
Where's he
Oh,
inspiring?
inspiring.
Oh, he's inspiring himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's a lot of inspiring on this list.
Yep.
He's like, I get
What?
all the inspiring, you get none.
Nothing for you.
Nothing for you.
And so there's 14 attacks from the giant.
No, yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
6, yeah.
9, 15.
Waivers.
No, they're
Oh,
dash
they're
17.
fearless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw another 9 and just assumed.
Yep. Yeah,
To be fair, the fact it's holding it there for another turn is good enough, to be honest with you.
And how much damage is on the giant right now?
6.
Oh, yeah, I
6
would
and
be
6.
worried.
6 is all around.
That might be dead though. 30 attacks on 4s and 3s. That's a lot of.
It
turn.
should kill it this round.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Should, but it's still held up, and there's still that slight chance.
So 4 damage, I think. Oh no.
Here's Nick beating up the Pope again.
story of his life.
The Pope is gone.
The Pope is dead. I don't know. What do we do? I'm not Catholic. What happens when the Pope dies?
We all get a day off school, I think. That's what happened with the last time the Pope died. But I did go to a Catholic college, so
I was going to be like, interesting. Didn't realize schools were so religiously affiliated in the UK, but okay.
I know, really. Yeah. I'm not Catholic, but I went to a Catholic college, so we all got a day off college. It was great. I mean, it was obviously very sad the Pope had died, but day off so we could all mourn and think about the Pope.
It was a joke here, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going there.
I think the Lachilodon's fine, right? On an 8?
Yeah, definitely. It's 11, 13, 11, I think.
13. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Tom complaining about? Shut up, Tom. Yeah, the right hand side falls apart by the Lycodons this turn.
Good job, Highlanders.
Mm-hmm. Tom repositioning them to face the Lachilodons.
The Lycodons.
It's not really all that worried, I guess. What is this, the Mammoth? No.
Might with the Mammoth, yeah, because it's in the flank.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of pink on that side of the board now.
There it is.
It's very pretty. It's a good color. I like it. I feel like there's been a lot of death on that side for the top 4. Yeah. It's been a big cleanup on that side for Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sound too intrigued, guys.
I'm watching what he does. So,
yeah,
I like that. Just turning in, shutting the whole side down. We might even pass the token off to one of the Fanatics next turn, and send the Mammoth in.
6. No, I mean you've got, even with just 10 movement, you have a line on the flank of the Rhinosaurs. You can get there easy.
I'm thinking just to keep the token to the side of the board that you just completely control.
Sure.
Don't run a 2-point token into a potential where it could be could get captured.
It could be snatched away.
Yeah, because both the pikes are going to die this turn most likely.
Yeah,
they should do. The giant will probably die this turn.
The mammoth will survive, which makes things interesting.
Militia will die. I'm assuming Tom grabbed the token with me.
Yeah, and we think he dropped the one on the left that the militia with the hammered forces.
I think he dropped that a couple turns ago.
Yeah.
A turn or 2 ago or something.
So it's probably 6-0 Tom at this point.
I'm going to be so annoyed when those crossbows win this game. by jumping on that point.
Hashtag crossbows OP.
Let's nerf shooting. Done.
Well, so far they've managed to waver then kill a ceremonial guard unit, and now they're going to grab that token.
MVP crossbows.
Yeah. Oh, crossbows.
So Tom's on 30 minutes, Bart's on 32. So loads of time for bottom of 4.
Yeah.
They're going to game with 15 minutes each, at least.
All right. So does Bart really have any decisions to make here? I mean, he countercharges with everything. He flanks the horde here with the ceremonial guard. He peels off this clan lord to go after Elliot to get those 2 points back. And that's it, right? Like, there's really nothing else hanging out there.
I'd put both clan lords into Elliot, to me. Just because I don't think you need the extra damage on the giant, and you could really do with not having that 2-point token just disappear. Because if you don't kill me this turn, I'm gone, and that's 2 points that are safe. Near enough.
I'd put all the Lycodons into that militia horde just to try and kill it off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no, Bart hadn't got a lot of decisions this turn. It's just kill what you can.
And it's quite a lot that it will kill.
I think Bart can pick up 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 units this turn.
Good. Well, he should definitely get the horde on the left.
6 at a push. He could, if he was smart with it, he could do 6 units. He could kill.
Yeah, the big decision this turn is going to come from the reforms. And what to do after you've killed stuff. Because effectively, you need to survive Tom's next turn of charging. If you can do that, then your counter attacks are much stronger, and will take out any of those remaining units.
Yeah, because I'd be putting 2 clan lords into Elliot. Because he can put the unit that's... Yeah, I think he could probably get 6 units at a push this turn, if he committed properly.
Yeah, you were right, Ashley. The token was dropped a while ago.
Yeah. You mean I thought, but sure.
Yeah, Ashley knew. We just bumbled along.
It's all good. Well, because I just remember him trying to drop it like off the back of his base.
Yeah.
But.
All right, so we're shooting over here at the Highlanders.
And again, he's done it so there's cover.
For thing 3, yeah.
Yeah. Because thing 1 could have moved back, and thing 3 could have moved forward, and there'd have been two uncovered shots.
Yeah. Now he's checking to see if he's even got line of sight, which he might not.
I don't think he has.
No, I don't think so.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he should have moved those. Gotten too big a hurry.
That's an error.
So right. So just charge. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, that flank charge.
No, it was a front, I think.
Oh, right.
I think it's funny that instead of taking back, just being able to move thing 1 back like an inch, he was like, well, then I'll go back and charge.
Yeah, because I'd have moved thing 1 back an inch and gone thing 3 forward, maybe 2, and then it'd been 2 100 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he should. I mean, he definitely should have focused on one or the other of these units. Like, I don't like the way he split them up here.
Yeah, you've got to focus fire if possible. Obviously,
I feel. Go ahead.
The hindered unit had to counter charge, but I'd have put both shots onto the unit.
Yeah, definitely.
The issue now is set thing 1 up again for an unhindered charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Moving back an inch would have been a hindered charge.
Yep.
When in doubt, hinder charge.
Combat's somewhere.
I think he's doing kilodons on the Judean Democratic Socialists board.
Something with 5 attacks.
Yeah, that's like kilodons. And that's a 6 nerve roll on a horde with only 2 wounds, so they are fine.
So obviously dead.
Now over to the other horde.
This should die. If this doesn't die, there's something wrong.
This should really die now. Yeah, this is
really.
30 attacks. 3s and 2s. They should do it in 1.
They're just going straight to double 1.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Which I know I'm always a big fan of like roll it out, but
yeah, in that case.
Yeah, you're like I'm already got 13 wounds.
Oh, he's not made it.
Oh
no!
Crossbows.
Yeah, so 2 crossbows can. No, that's a very clever read of. Oh no, leave it as it was. Leave it as it was.
That's a big mistake.
Yeah. So what he done there? Original placement meant that you couldn't double up with the crossbows, because he'd made it so that it was too narrow. But now he's made it so you can get both crossbow regiments in. So you just have the left-hand side one pick up the token, the one that's not in any danger from anything. Leave that. No. No.
Because if he'd have been facing away, I wouldn't have even charged with the crossbows. I'd have shot with both of them.
No, I still got
the
I have the token. Oh, well, he's done one to me, but I'm okay. I can deal with that. I'm fine.
Yep.
Go enchanted Elliot.
No more wind blast. No dropping the token and flying away
Oh,
for
it's
no
okay.
reason at all.
He's shut down the scariest part of the list. Windblast is no longer.
That's right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. There's fire oil in this list, so
So
Yeah.
actually,
that is the scary part.
can you windblast the fire oil? Will that do a thing?
Ooh,
Then it just explodes.
Like a fiery puff.
turns
Just
it
like
into
the
fireball.
chili oil on the wind. So that's another many 5. Yeah, I got. Yeah, they gone. So these should spin now to face. Now you got to remember that don't just. Yeah. The thing that you see a lot of people doing is they turn to face where a unit is now, not thinking where it's going to charge and be next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's better because you need to cover it to cover where that mammoth charges the rhinoceros.
Yep. And leave everything in front.
He can't go any further left either because the fanatics will be in a flank.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's his maximum coverage.
And fanatics on the giant.
In fairness,
tyrants.
Yeah. In fairness, the mammoth's going to charge and both fanatics.
He's forgotten elite on these, which would have been very useful there because he rolled 7 1s. He did do 9 damage. Oh, he did, yeah. Oh, don't I get 1 more damage from it, but still.
So that's 16.
Yeah.
He didn't roll 7 1s. He didn't re-roll 7 dice.
16.
That's a waiver.
Yeah, wavered on the first roll.
Does
it have Fury?
Yes.
Ooh.
And Chonk?
Oh,
Chonk, yeah.
Well, they've killed it, but it's not dead. No, it shouldn't be dead.
How many wounds were on it?
It was on 16.
Unless we miscounted and that 3 was supposed to be there as well.
Yeah.
Well, 3 don't kill. So that puts them on 19, which is a waiver.
Well.
They're not brutal, are they? Tyrants? No.
Unless we miscounted, yeah.
To be
unless
fair,
the Downlord did some damage that we didn't see.
To be fair, he did miss in elite, so the elite would have probably done that 1 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Tom. I also don't know Tom that well, but this playing I've seen is enough to think that he probably would have done the math. I don't know. Maybe.
So this is Clan Lord on the Spear Phalanx. 2 hits, and it's probably still 2 damage, isn't it? Or is it just 1?
Yeah, crush 2.
Clan Lord is crushing 2, yeah.
Right, guys, you need to do average here. Just average. 4 hits. It's not average.
3 damage.
Yeah.
He puts it on 9.
Fairly good chance.
9, 13, 15 just needs a 6, right?
They're brutal out of these, so they need 5. Not that. Waivers.
Yeah. Tom's gonna pick a few units on next turn.
That's scary, yeah, because that's now Mammoth in the flank.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Why have the Tyrants stayed facing that way? Oh, I suppose they
worrying about the other mammoth, I guess.
See, he overran the Clan Lord though, who was mighty, and was blocking that completely. I suppose. I was worried about the overrun into the rear. Right, so I'm legging it with a token.
Very brave man. High Kaling.
Bravely running away.
Which is the right
retreat,
call.
I believe is the
I'd actually run towards Nick.
They're not nimble though, so you just go 10.
Oh, true.
Like it.
Yep.
I'd
out of
try
the
both crossbows in now. Kingdoms and Men crossbows melee 6 or 5?
5, I think.
Let me see. 5.
Okay, yeah, so you got a decent shot there of putting you. You only need 1 damage, really. They're fearless 13, so.
And they're already at 8.
Yeah, so one damage and you should pop them. And then you've got enough turns. Who's charging the Clan Lord?
The mammoth? Is it the mammoth?
To be fair, it's not a bad call. 6
Oh,
damage on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could
and he
pick,
can overrun.
pick 2 units
Yeah.
up here.
I'd put Adam into the flank as well. The
Yep.
tyrants.
Yep.
Then you just pop in units left, right, and centre there.
Yep, and there it goes.
There we go.
Because if that wins, I'm claiming I've won the game for him.
Actually, in that case, don't do that.
There you go.
Nothing else mattered by my charge.
Yep, and here comes the flank charge from the mammoth.
Yeah.
And then with the infantry, do you just double up on the
Yeah.
ancients there?
Send both in.
I wonder what he's done
Yeah.
with the token. No, he's taking it with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not now?
Send both into the ancients and just deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the correct moves there.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a
As
lot of
you.
attacks. You defend 6 can only do so much.
What do they hit on even? Like
3.
when ancients hit on 3s?
Yeah, they're
4.
melee 3, Christian
Well,
1.
no, 3, I thought were 4.
No, they're very good. If it wasn't for speed 4, they've basically got every stat you'd ever want.
Yeah.
Speed 4 shocking at times though. Absolutely shocking.
There you are. There's your unhindered
Yep.
charge.
And the board countercharges the one with 5 wounds. It looks like it shifted over.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kill the one you can, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that horde is doing its job by holding a point and not dying for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So Tom's pretty much guaranteed 1 there in the top right. There's no Bart can do about that 1 on that horde.
yep. And not a whole lot he's going to be able to do about the 2 that the wizard's running away with.
There's the clan
Or
lord.
that the mammoth has. There's the clan lord. If the clan lord rolls hot, he could get him. But then the clan lord's
Yeah.
pulling away to
The
not help
mammoth.
him anymore.
There's not a
But
whole
can the
lot.
I'm not super familiar, but can the clan lord even pick it up if he kills him, or he just can deny him it?
No, it's
It
the
gets put
dying it, yeah.
underneath him, yeah.
Just a denial, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you may need to focus the clan lord in somewhere else so that you can actually get some of your own. Because right now, does Bart have any?
Don't shoot,
No.
charge.
No, I'd shoot.
I know, but next turn he just walks onto it and picks it up.
Yeah,
And then
which is
you-
wasting another turn. Which is
I know, but then
wasting an entire turn.
But then you don't have a token.
Don't matter because there's another turn left.
Yeah, but you lose it next turn. There's no way you're killing the fresh ancient troop in one go.
I think Tom's fine giving that 1 up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. I think he's
Oh,
fine
yeah.
giving that 1 up.
Right, so kill them
Yeah, but you probably could have done the same thing there, killed them, and still had the token.
and have the token, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, sure, he killed them, but he would have killed them either way, probably with what he's doing, and would have had the token.
No, I agree with what Tom did there. I
It's
do.
all to learn now.
Okay, it's Team Ashley and Elliot versus Padley. So
How many of us 3 have won a Masters?
I feel like I'm on the winning side there.
how many of those are won a Masters? Well,
But we have our integrity, Adam.
yeah.
What does that even mean?
It
It's
means
what-
we didn't bring that goblin list to the Masters.
I played
You made
I
George
played the
Kirk
meta.
cry.
He didn't cry. He played it wrong. He
He
knows
wanted
he
to
did.
cry.
He knows he did.
I've only actually qualified for Masters once, so
Unsurprisingly, yeah, the foot guard have killed the Lecky in the corner, and the militia killed the other Lecky.
Yeah.
Licky.
So it's not looking a good day to be a Lecky over there.
But I have to, what we talked about at the beginning, that wasn't a great spot for them to be, anyways.
It wasn't really. And
I feel like they were super ineffective there.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they split the fire as well for a lot of the game. Or they shot
Mhm.
it,
And the point of taking, and I feel like the point of taking 3 is that you can condense that fire into one thing.
I'd have been putting all 3 onto that hard turn 1 personally.
Yeah, that silly walk.
Wow. All right, so Tom is playing cleanup here.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's like, no offense to Bar, but it's over at this point, isn't it?
Yeah. What does he even have left on the board that could pick stuff up, you know?
He's
the
got
moment, He's still
3
got a
units.
Tyrant Horde and a Manus Horde.
Yeah,
If
but
you
they're both
ignore-
in trouble.
If you ignore the units in the flank and the damage on them,
Mm-hmm.
At the end of it, yeah, at the end of this turn, there's probably going to be an ancient troop left and a Lycidon left.
And a Clan Lord.
And like
And
one
Clan
Clan Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
Clan Lord don't matter though, does it, for scenario?
No.
In the slightest.
Just for points, right?
Okay, yeah, we're on the bones already. Oh,
Yeah.
almost. But not quite.
Almost.
So yeah, the reform isn't massively important here, is it? But
No, it's pretty much looking the only direction it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only thing Tom has to be concerned about now is potentially losing his +5 scenario points. Because if the ancients grab that one and then I die,
Do you
+4.
really want to play for 25 first round though?
Lots of people did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots
that's the
of-
thing. You don't want to. In
I
a
mean-
tournament this big, you never want to go max win first round. You never do.
Sandbagger.
23 is the ideal points to win.
Well, that's
first
what I
round.
got. I'd love to tell you it was
Hey!
difficult.
That's what I got too. I got 23.
Love to
No,
tell you it was
honestly, 23 is the optimal points to win round 1 of the tournament this size.
bloody hard work getting 23, I tell you what.
Oh, he just snake-eyed something.
Oh.
The Clan Lord.
No, he's snake-eyed. This is going to be really mean. So he's snake-eyed the tyrants in the flank,
Right.
but he's now going to overrun and get to run it again. So I add him in the flank of the tyrants.
If he rolls a 2. If he rolls a 2.
Yeah, now he's going to overrun, do more damage, and then roll the nerve again. So they got a reprieve for about.
Are you allowed to do that? Is that a change from
Yes.
third? I thought
Yeah,
you could only
No.
do it once.
You can
Any-
still anything. There can be a double. That's like the only scenario where you can have 2 nerve checks. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's a big fall over from fantasy because fantasy was only ever 1 nerve check. But
Yeah.
that's the correct way of doing things like this. Always do the combat first before the overrun into the combat because you've got a chance of a double roll.
A double nerve check.
That's
They
interesting.
got. Oh.
All right.
So it's official. Padley wins the game for Tom.
Well, actually, you double won. You were terrible.
Well,
I think
I
think
held
the
them in
giant,
place.
The giant pig won the game.
I held them in place so the pig could get in. That's clearly a tactical move.
Well, I'm pretty sure Elliot's the one holding
I was
that
gonna say,
2-point token.
Who's
so-
running away with that token? That enchanting looking token.
Who's that enchanting over there?
He should have made that
my
model
mighty
shinier.
Time to go after the Northern Kings.
You
Already
leave
killed
Elliot
Tom.
alone. Yeah. So yeah, Tom. Just as a clock update, in case you were wondering, Tom's got 20 minutes left. Bart's got 22.
Well done, boys. I like this. Well, I mean, they're fast players, anyways. But I'm like, oh, perfect. I don't have to commit like 4 hours of my day to a stream anymore.
Sod that.
Yeah. No, clocks are very good for streaming.
I concur.
Now, I'm sure Bart isn't thinking this at the moment, but the thing with Northern King scoring is it's always positive scoring. So go grab the token. There's no reason not to.
Grab the token and kill what you can.
Yeah.
Get whatever points you can get from a scoring.
It's still points.
Bart should be fairly familiar with it. We've done Northern Kings scoring in this region for a couple tournaments last year. So
Good. You guys are learning.
Oh, what are you doing? Don't sidestep. Just go grab the token. Although I do wonder, is that mammoth? No! You leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
He's going for the moral victory of killing the Northern King.
It's okay, because Adam and the mammoth are there come save me afterwards.
See, Padley wins the game.
I've got to hold on.
I love how Tom's the only one to die so far, by the way. That's a moral victory from me.
That'd be perfect. If the only one that dies is Tom.
Doesn't that mean Bart wins by default if Tom dies?
He does. They've just been playing for fun for the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, it was called a while ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunately, guys, sorry. The game was over a while ago. He's going for points here, because if you can kill that unit, potentially deny the token.
Yeah.
He's got to deny the token for 2 rounds, potentially, so it's a big ask, but...
Well, you don't get anything from denying the token, but you get something for killing.
Well, no, you deny Tom a point, so the gap's closer.
Yeah, but it's not of much benefit for you, really.
It is for the moral victory of knowing that turn round 6 you can deny him a certain place. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's be honest, I don't think it's going to come down to a 1 point with Tom, is it?
He'll
he went
lose
into
next
the last round. Well, the last tournament, he went into the last round with a game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much of a lead, but it would have good lead with a lead.
I dislike Tom.
You say you like Tom?
I dislike him.
Really?
This is the thing with Northern Kings. We all think we're knobheads.
Look, take that.
He's going to bounce off me. He's going to bounce off me.
It's more important to take out at it.
Now that you've got it figured out.
Discover the secret. So it's unanimous.
It's unanimous. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, I know. I'm the dickhead of the group. It's fine.
Okay.
Only because I say it how it is.
Most sporting Northern King.
I am the most sporting Northern King, so work out what that means.
I've got me and Ellie just have a long history here in the last year of streaming together, so I'm like, can't get rid of him.
In my kitchen.
In your kitchen. Hey, I have a dining room now, so like, I don't have to stream in my bed anymore.
He's brought a shrubbery.
I was about to say, just summon up the shrubs. What are we doing? There it is.
Perfect.
So I love this typo from Sam there.
We demand a shrubbery.
Oh, is this supposed to be the top 4?
It's supposed to be the top 4, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, the
top 4 what?
The top 4? That's a good.
So the top 4 at the end of a playoff. I like the idea because we got to the situation last time where Paul Brown came second and he won all of his games as well. Just that Tom won them better.
Yeah, but Paul had a lot of small wins. Whereas
he
Tom
did, but he still did very
wins.
well to win 6 games. So it would have been really interesting to see them all play off.
To be fair,
well,
I think Paul Brown's the most underrated player in the UK.
But also, didn't we have it where it was Mark and Tom playing in the final one, and it was like for Mark to win it, even though he was in the final game, would have had to like win by like a fairly large margin.
Yeah,
to even beat Tom out.
Yeah,
that's. In fairness, last event we actually needed 7 rounds, but I just wasn't running 7 rounds.
Yeah.
Hey! And then this is. Did he die in the game? Because that would have been perfect timing.
I don't know. I kind of like every point you get over the course of the tournament really mattering. Like I don't care if.
I think it's forgotten sometimes that your first game is just as important as your last.
Yeah.
I think some people, it feels wrong when you're on the top table at the end and then you lose and you slide down to 4th or 5th. I think some people forget sometimes and think, oh, I should have got the silver medal because I was top table at the end, but that almost takes something away from your round 1 opponent, and that game was just as important as your round 6 was.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I understand it both ways.
Yeah, it's got both have
Yeah, I've been there before and been on top table and then felt a bit kicked when you've slid down all the way down to 5th or 6th or whatever and off the podium.
Yeah.
Especially when it's not like a huge loss either. You're like, oh, cool, we tied and I still dropped 4 places, or whatever. Mm-hmm. We're top of 6. They're wondering what time turn.
Also wavered the.
Can we let them know top 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, wavered those crossbows. Yeah, because I remember going to 100-person Warhammer tournaments that were only 5 rounds because you couldn't play 6 rounds of Warhammer. It just took too long. And multiple people would go 5-0. So it came down to who got the most scenario bonus points over the course of the tournament and stuff like that.
In Warhammer, it was usually kills as well, wasn't it? Every game was kill.
Every game was kill, yeah.
So it came down to purely who had killed the most, as you say. So it was,
they would have little secondary objectives for
bonus
maybe 3 or 4 points, and a lot of it came down to I tabled almost everyone I played, but I forgot to do the bonus objectives in the first 2 rounds, so I came in 3rd, shit like that.
I think it'd be kind of interesting, at the end of Call to Arms, they had a secondary thing where you did the top 4 playoff, even if it was it'd be a cool little side thing, especially streamed. It might be very cool.
So Adam Padley has lost power, and that's what he's done. Is everything all right in the UK?
Oh no. As a rule at the minute, no. But we're back in lockdown. Everything's going to hell. But yeah.
Hey, at least you guys went into lockdown again. Looking at you up there in the top corner there.
Lockdown
Don't look at me.
I know it's not you.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Why didn't you make those political decisions from your home, Virginia?
I'm only responsible for the single count that I'm the single county that I'm the count of. We have a population of 2, unfortunately. Neither of us have left the house in months, so I'm doing my part.
That's fair.
I just need more subjects, that's all.
So I'm interviewing an army of cats now. Cats that are never allowed to leave the house because of lockdown.
Yeah.
So the mammoth and Nick have come to save me, and rightly so.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of switched around the other way a little bit. Robin and I have been referring to our situation as human zoo, right? We're the animals in the enclosure, and the wild animals of the forest now get really close to the house since we never go outside and it's quiet outside. Yeah, so deer just get really close to the house and look in the windows now, and we're like, "Hi, this is us. We're having lunch. It's feeding time."
So in the UK, it was just sheep. Sheep loved it for the first 3 weeks of lockdown. It was if any sheep go out in the field, they just go crazy. It's
nice.
The weirdest wildlife ever of just the most mundane, boring. There's another sheep, another one.
Here on in Victoria, the deer are super used to people. So even pre-lockdown, and so now especially they're oh, hello people, and just walk down the main street next to all the cars, and they wander the campus at UVic at the university, and they're we don't care, feed us.
What are you going to do to it?
Yeah,
you've learned a while ago that they're not going to shoot me.
Right.
I mean, there was always that joke in university when we're are we poor enough to hunt down the deer on campus? Yeah.
Right, come on, Adam. Mess this up. Yeah, he messed it up. Terrible.
Disaster, Padley. Disaster, I tell you.
Useless as ever.
I feel their chat's probably been really hilarious this round too. This whole game, Tom and Bart's banter has probably been on par.
I've just been sending Nick the quote saying, and once again, Nick is beating up the Pope. Just with no context. Just sent him that quote.
Just sent him that quote. Oops.
Useless as ever. Elliot. Oops. Well, he was crap anyways.
Tired after the wind blast. Okay.
He huffed and he puffed and he wind blasted everything.
Did one. Is that? Oh, that was Nick, not the mammoth. I was about to say, how'd the mammoth only do one?
Although Nick only doing one wasn't great.
Yeah.
Got 6 hits and then did 1 damage.
There's the mammoth. Okay.
Yeah. 5 hits and 5 damage.
Okay. Puts it up on
13,
7.
15, I think. It's on 6 with it. Waves him.
That's a waiver, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, kills him.
Or with brutal.
Oh, brutal, yeah.
Mammoth's brutal.
So
And then
fine.
a 4.
No, I'm still at risk. Oh yeah, this is on the Lord of the Forest.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a fun match for the first round.
Yeah. So what's the plan then? Are you streaming 1 or 2 a round, or are you going to leave it to the later rounds? Or
We'll probably try to pick one or 2 a week for the first couple of rounds till we get to the middle of the tournament, and then once the ranks kind of shake out a bit, then we'll start looking at the top placed folks for the last few rounds. But we'll aim to have something for folks to watch every week, hopefully.
So now I'm not playing Call to Arms because I'm lazy. When will the finish be? Like when will round? You guys are doing 6 rounds?
Yeah, so
it's 12 weeks, right?
12 weeks. Yeah.
12 weeks.
12 weeks from last Friday. I think with an extra week for Christmas as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna hit over the holidays, right?
Yeah.
So we started on the 23rd. 2 weeks.
Yeah. So you know how you're not playing Call to Arms, Ashley? Does that mean you've got all the time in the world to play Into the Rift?
No, but maybe. What are you trying to do?
The Halfway's Rift now.
Oh yes, that thing that happened that is hard to get excited for.
No, I'm just. We've got good numbers signed up already.
My problem is.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say no. The problem is I am working overtime and picking up at a COVID clinic, so my time is kind of just napping most of the time.
I mean, that feels like a fairly good.
How many folks have you got signed up for
Into the Rift? Feels like a fairly good reason. We're in the 30s at the moment, but obviously we've got quite a lot of promo and quite a lot of stuff to go.
Sure. And you're doing those on UB,
but yeah, it's really cool if you. So mainly on UB. Obviously, if anybody can play on in person, brilliant. But it will be a coincidence if you got matched against somebody near to you and you were legally and safely allowed to do so. Or top simulator or however you choose it effectively. But yeah, it's all done through Conflict, which is the company that somebody set up and a sort of partnering with Mantic, and it's like a digital platform for managing your campaigns. So there's an interactive digital campaign map of the Harpy Mountains, and so each round all the results will influence the map. Things will change, and you'll see how things are moving along. But I'm sort of selling it as it's the prequel to the Harpy's Rift campaign, because that's been delayed obviously because of COVID and everything.
Sure.
So Mantic's doing that, but not till next year now.
So we have gone on to a turn 7.
This is the prequel event.
This is the prequel event. Okay. So we have moved on to a turn 7. So that's pretty cool. So do you think any of those campaign games might be interesting enough to be worth streaming? Maybe. Think anybody would want to watch those?
Oh yeah, I would think so. They're using all of the Harpy's Rift stuff, so all of the channeling tables, all the cool new terrain and spells and heroes and magical mercenaries and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it's every player's put into one of 4 teams institutions at the start of it. So all of your results go towards your team's result and influences how your team does on the campaign map. Right. But then within that, top player of Team A played the top player of Team B each round, and then so you'll be matched against someone of the same kind of skill level. It's very much a focus on fun. And what's really cool about Tabletop Conflict is that you can upload all your battle results afterwards. So we've got a £50 prize for the best short story that somebody puts attached to their game. And it can either be about your game you played, or it can be just a short story about your army in general. I really want people to start writing and talking and thinking about their armies in more of a narrative way. And Countercharge are going to be reading out their favourite short stories after each round.
Okay. And where do people
I think it'd be really good. It's all over Fanatics, all over the Facebook pages, but it's tabletopconflict.com.
Okay.
I was just doing the conversion from pounds to CAD. I was like, what is that? That's cool. How many can I?
5 roughly.
85. How many people signed up for Call to Arms this round?
100.
This one, 114.
So about
was it less?
Close to last round? Like close to last?
A bit under.
Call to Arms?
Not much under.
There's 120 listed at this point. I think it was like 140 last time, but then there were some drops. So.
Yeah, but about 20 under, I think, compared to last time.
Yeah, interesting.
We had 140.
Still really good. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. I did want to ask you guys, but Adam's already dropped off.
Oh, yeah.
What was the motivation for running another Call to Arms in 2020?
It was when the new Clash of Kings book came out. So the original one was there to help people learn 3rd edition.
Okay.
And so they could practice for all their tournaments when it started. Go me! So I did a damage. And yeah, so it was Adam really loving it. He very much wanted to, let people the new Clash of Kings rules changes, and in theory, test out lists again and of stuff before, so people could have ways of organising their games before painting and going to tournaments. But at the minute, that's not happening. Oh, is that everything?
I think he's got one clan lord left in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like after it became that we knew for sure he was winning, I'm like, well, what do I have left to talk about? There's he either tables him or he doesn't, and it changes not a whole lot. So, yeah. But it's good to get a little insight on how things are. But yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that you guys have big campaign.
You guys do more club challenges. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, so the campaign is kind of semi-official Mantic, and Mantic is very much supporting it. They put us with Tabletop Conflict. They're promoting it all through their blog and giving us gifts, vouchers and support and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
But we can't guarantee that any of the fluff and story that is generated will become canon. But if anything really cool comes out of it, I am very much going to be talking to Rob Berman and everyone else going, this is cool, do this.
All right.
And there we go.
So part of me feels like we should just tell them that did Adam die? Did Adam's model die?
I hope
no,
so.
He's still
he's down at the bottom.
Oh, I wanted to be like when they come back in, we should tell them that Adam left when he died, but he didn't die. It would have been so funny. Just leave out that his power went out.
I think it's funny that Tom's the only one that died.
Oh, poor Tom. But not really, because he still won. Poor Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Valiantly threw himself under the bus.
Well done, Elliot. You did something. It's a wizard, no less.
Well, I mean, you died, so.
Well, if I had to throw anyone
at the table, I did just do something. I gloriously wind blew it out of inspiring range for the crossbows that I've always said are excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't begrudging them.
Woo! Yeah, there was no hashtag OP crossbows that came out of this at all.
Elliot, you bastard. You slippery, slippery bastard.
Yeah.
That
Well
was
played,
fun.
gents.
Well, one of us played well.
Yeah, well, good game, guys. Obviously, congrats to Tom. Thanks for letting us watch. Adam had to go because I think he said his power went out.
Power went out. Yeah.
Um,
I heard.
So all right. So that's probably going to end up being what, a 25
Oh,
for,
yeah. I had nothing
for
left.
Tom.
Yeah. Nothing left.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a little bit more in the middle there, but charging ensnared phalanxes is probably not a good idea for the usually.
Well, you see what it is I think you just gave Tom too much of an overpowered list to play.
Well,
Is
clearly,
what came.
crossbows. You see
Yeah,
what they did?
yeah. The crossbows were MVP, so
And Nick.
clearly something happened.
Yeah, I didn't know about the wild. I forgot about the wild charge. You know, that didn't start me down the bad hill, but it was just one of those things where like, oh yeah, that's right, wild charge.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for a little bit more in the middle. The right side for me, my side was more of a distraction, but he cleaned it up a little bit too easily for delaying him. So yeah, it didn't really go well.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go well.
And what did you guys think about the map? The map for this particular scenario.
I didn't have any problems with it, honestly. I know we both had the big things in the deployment zone, but I could have avoided that if I really wanted to. I didn't really need to do what I did. So I thought it was fine.
Well, then it was nice for me because that's the reason why I chose that side, because it's such a big piece of impassable that it allowed me to split up his army a little bit more. Because I did essentially what I was planning to do. I was hoping on the left side I'd have killed an ancient troop, and then the militia would be able to take on the other ancient troop, and I wouldn't have to worry about, that failure. But then you can't trust the socialist Judean people.
That's right, honestly. You just can't.
What happened, didn't it? The right flank went better than I thought.
I think it was close actually in the end. There was a.
The right flank was interesting because I think using me as a very aggressive piece.
I think it was closer than.
Yeah, I think it was much closer until that last turn 5.
Yeah.
So I would.
Yeah, if I could have gotten a couple rolls in the middle there, and maybe a couple, just to clear a little bit, so that I could just try and defend, it could have been different. There was an opportunity for me to pick off a couple of tokens at the end, and I was really going for those 3. That I wasn't really worried about the right hand side. I wanted to get the 4 on the left, but I just couldn't get through that fast enough.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
And you can't deal with those crossbows. So what's the guy got to do?
Yeah, you chink off a couple wounds here and there, and then by the time they had 8 wounds by the time they got through it all. So it was just look at them funny, they're gonna fall down.
Yep. I think what was it, the rhinosaurs failing to break?
Yeah.
What was it the pike? Or the spear phalanx in the middle there?
Yeah, I think that was big.
Yeah, I mean they should have lasted at least a turn. 2 turns was asking a bit, but then at that point, on the second turn, the mammoth was anyway. We were already in 5 damage, and Nick's in range to come back as well. I mean, I sent Nick after the Pope as a more narrative than a good choice, because what I was going to do was charge the tyrants and then pin the tyrants back and deal with everything else. But then I thought, no, you've got to go for Nick. You've got to take the Pope. You've got to.
Yeah, I mean, Nick killed the Pope. You're now demonetized on YouTube now.
All right. Any other questions from the commentators?
No.
Did you guys use the unit names properly on your or were you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
referring to him.
Well done. Then it was for me. Then it was a success. So I
Yeah.
killed Tom, and you used the unit name. So good.
Yep.
Yeah. Well done.
I'm a little upset, Tom, that you didn't just reverse Adam into the Tyrant Horde. That's what I thought you were going to do. Just fly out and then 360 and just reverse into him.
Just drift right in front.
I was hoping Adam had also died, because I was like, okay, so what we're going to do is just.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no. I was only going to say is that we just tell you guys that Adam had left because he died, but then he didn't. So I had no excuse besides his actual power outage.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it was like I was going after the token where I could have taken a token and have him drop. I was like, no. I really need to kill Adam. So
Yeah, I have to punch Adam.
Yeah.
It's worth it. We've all had that urge at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks so much for letting us watch over your shoulders while you play. That was a fun game, even if it was a little one-sided towards the end. Sorry about that, Bart. But
No worries.
both the armies were nice looking and funny and fun to look at. You guys were having a good time playing, clearly. So congrats to Tom, and
Good job, Tom.
good luck to both of you in the remaining rounds of the tournament. So I'd like to thank Elliot Morris and Adam Pedley and Ashley Mowat for hanging out with me while we watch this game, and thank everybody at home for watching along with us here this evening. Once again, I'd like to thank Bart Koehler and Tom Robinson for letting us watch their game. And till next time, I'm your host, Mike Atkins, saying you stay safe out there, and we will see you next time on Dash 28 Live.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye, everybody.
Good game, Tom. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.